Welcome to the inaugural season of Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball, presented by Active Family Chiropractic, Edward Jones, Gresham Ford, Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, the Gresham Police Officers Association, Lucky Pint, Metro East Web Academy, Northwest Accounting Partners, Olympic Gym, Riverview Community Bank, and State Farm. And now it's time for your Gresham Grey Wolves pregame show.
Hello and welcome to the Gresham Grey Wolves pregame show here at Osland Field. I'm Evan Giddings coming to you live on the campus of Mount Hood Community College before the rubber match between the Victoria Harbor Cats and your Gresham Grey Wolves. As for last night, the Grey Wolves were unable to take advantage of run-scoring opportunities, dropping an early 2-0 lead to Victoria and going on to lose 12-4. The league-leading Harbor Cats knotted the series at one game apiece in the table for a series finale that will begin at 7:05 in just 10 minutes from first pitch tonight. As for the game last night, Gresham left the bases loaded in the second and third innings while leaving two runners on in each the fifth and the sixth innings. And I mentioned the amount of runs and the amount of opportunities they left on the table, a total of 13 men left in scoring position, or rather around the bases, and 6 of those in scoring position for Gresham. And while the Grey Wolves offense was stalling, the Harbor Cats really did the exact opposite. Victoria played 5 runs in the fourth inning alone, using 4 hits to do the majority of the damage. And the Harbor Cats continued to add on throughout the rest of the evening, including a 3-run eighth, which put the game out of reach for the Grey Wolves. However, despite the final score, it was actually Gresham who jumped out to the early lead last night, scoring a pair of runs in the second inning. Back-to-back doubles from Ryan Smith as well as Mark Cardinale scored Gresham's first run of the ball game, and then a line drive to right field off the bat of Drew Curtis in a full count evaded a diving right fielder and scored Cardinale, giving them the 2-0 lead. However, that lead was trimmed to 1 in the third and completely erased in the fourth inning when the Harbor Cats' hot bats got to Gresham's, at the time, ace starter Rylan Luchek had allowed just 2 earned runs all season, ended up getting tagged with 6 runs, 4 of them earned. And Rylan Luchek really just had a tough night against this really potent offense for the Victoria Harbor Cats. And after a 2-run sixth, Gresham's did make things interesting as they cut the score to 7-4 in the sixth, but that's as close as they would get. Ryan Smith had another 2-out RBI single, something we've become so accustomed to seeing from him. Scored Curtis Perrin, who had doubled to begin that inning, and the second run of the frame, Smith came around to cross on a balk call. So Victoria ended up putting on 5 more runs in the last third of the ball game to sort of run away with the game to win. Of course, 12-4, the Grey Wolves fell. However, one highlight for Gresham came in the form of Curtis Perrin, who I just mentioned, had that double in the sixth inning, eventually came around to score. And he put together a 3-hit ball game. In fact, the second baseman came a home run shy of the cycle after singling in the first, doubling in the sixth, like I mentioned, and then tripling in the eighth. So 3/4 of the way, almost to the cycle. Actually, I had a chance to talk to him before the ball game and this evening, and I asked him if he had got that last at bat, you think you would have got a home run? And he said, I don't know, man. I haven't hit one of those in a long time. So maybe Curtis Perrin able to flash some extra base hit ability. Maybe we'll see a long ball from him tonight as he is in the starting lineup. Now, in addition, the Grey Wolves have an opportunity this evening to do something special. The Victoria Harbor Cats have not lost a series since they were swept in their very first series of the season against the Walla Walla Sweets. And in fact, right after that was when they started their near-immaculate 19-game winning streak and have since only lost a total of 3 games. Of course, one of those games came on Tuesday night to Gresham, which some might consider an overall triumph in and of itself. But I'm sure if you ask any member of this Grey Wolf squad, they would tell you complacency is the last thing they have on their minds. They haven't had much success, however, in the third game of a lot of these series so far this season. In fact, own a 3-7 record throughout the third game of each series throughout the season, and their rubber match record not good as well. 0-2, both at home, coming against Cowlitz and Walla Walla back in the first half in the month of June. So they're going to be hoping to reverse their fortunes tonight, as they were supposed to have big, tall, 6'7" right-handed pitcher David Wallum from Lynn Benton Community College on the mound, as he was supposed to enter the game with a 2-1 record and a stellar 1.67 ERA. However, after recently committing to Washington State University, the now Cougar will be shut down for the remainder of the summer. So we'd like to wish him the best. And, of course, David Wallum has certainly earned that scholarship now with Washington State. However, unfortunately, the Gray Wolves are going to have to suffer as they will be without him for the remainder of the summer. So this will cause a mix-up in the starting rotation, which will be sorted out after the All-Star break, according to head coach Justin Barkas. And so enter left-hander Gabe Benavides. It's going to be making his team-high 7th start of the season. Has been a constant in the rotation from day one, only trailing left-hander Aaron Schaup and the aforementioned Wallum in total innings pitched. Now for Benavides, it's been a little bit of inconsistency, and unfortunately it seems like when he has had his best stuff so far this season, he hasn't gotten much help, which is likely the reason for his sort of deceptive 1-3 record. The epitome of the hard luck losses that have come Benavides' way is best described in a start back on June 24th, in fact, against the Harbor Cats up in Victoria. He tossed 6 stellar innings, only allowing 1 earned run, as we'll now pause for the playing of the national anthem here at Osland Field, as well as the Canadian national anthem. So we'll take a quick break here from the pregame show and listen into that.
Command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And another great rendition of both of those national anthems, of course, for our Canadian counterparts from Victoria, as well as Gresham Gray Wolves receiving the home U.S. national anthem. Now, we were talking about Gabe Benavides, and we'll get into that as he'll be making his 7th start of the season as we take a quick break here on Gresham Gray Wolves pregame live. That will conclude it as we next go to first pitch as well as lineups here at Osland Field. Again, Evan Giddings bringing you Gresham Gray Wolves baseball, and we'll see you on the end of this break.
You are in a quest full of danger and excitement, your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham. Bum, 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 bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so now, as Gabe Benavides just about getting done with his warm-up pitches, we welcome you in here to the broadcast booth at Osland Field. Evan Giddings bringing you Gresham Grey Wolves baseball here in the rubber match between the Gresham Grey Wolves and the Victoria Harbor Cats, both sitting atop the North and South divisions, respectively, in the West Coast League. On the bump, Gabe Benavides for Gresham. And we talked a little bit about in the pregame kind of some of his hard luck losses. And, in fact, I was getting into his really the focal point of that statement on June 24th against the Victoria Harbor Cats. He went 6 stellar innings, ended up giving up 0 earned runs. However, unfortunately, due to an error made by a shortstop at the time, Mark Mumper, allowed 1 run to come across, and he ended up getting tagged with the loss in that game. So that's kind of how that 1-3 record is a bit deceptive. As we're just about ready for first pitch, it is now on the way, and a fastball that misses outside here to the leadoff hitter for Victoria, Matt Lautz, ball 1. The order for Victoria tonight, it'll be Lautz leading it off, I should say. Batting second, Griffin Anderchuk. Batting third, A.J. Alcantara in the order. As now Lautz will lace this one into center field, going to get down for a base hit. Kind of creeping out now into right center field as Ryan Smith will be over to play it back in as the Harbor Cats start where they left off last night. A total of 12 base hits for them. They already got 1 to begin the ball game here with Matt Lautz singling to start the first. So I mentioned A.J. Alcantara. He's back in the order. It was kind of scratched in quick fashion, and an interesting story there, as last night he had sort of migraine or headache type symptoms, ended up coming into the ball game pinch hitting later and actually got a base hit. So nonetheless, A.J. Alcantara will be in the ball game tonight, and he's batting third. As the first pitch on the way now to Anderchuk is a ball that misses low, 1-0. Hitting cleanup for the Harbor Cats is Joe Pryor, followed by Ben Polshuk. Tommy Jew after him batting 6th. Batting 7th is Brad Plushkel. Batting 8th, Matt Smith. And batting 9th, Ryan Anderson. Pitching on the mound will be right-hander number 16, Will McAfee. As now Benavides working in the stretch. Kicks and fires. A fastball just a bit high there, 2-0. Calling strikes this evening will be Ed Rye. And in the field, who was calling strike last night, Colin Price, as this is the two-man crew we've been given for this series. So now Benavides has his sign on the 2-0, and change of that time drops in for a strike here, 2-1. Defensively for the Grey Wolves, and left to right in the outfield, it'll be Mark Cardinale, Ryan Smith, and Josh Adams. And left to right on the infield, it'll be Connor Zickafoose, Dylan Doherty, Curtis Perrin, and Nick Snyder, with Ben Klenke doing the catching, and of course, Benavides on the bump. It's now a bluff pickoff attempt over to first base. Didn't even flinch there, did Lautz. Another pitch on the way here. This one out in front, but manages to stick it into center field. Incoming Smith. He'll make the catch on a low line drive there as Lautz will retreat back to first base. And we got the first out of the ball game here off the bat of Griffin Anderchuk. Now Anderchuk, along with 4 other Harbor Cats, named All-Stars for the North Division here in the West Coast League. So in addition to him, we saw one of them last night as well, Austin Dondeville, a right-hander from Cal Poly. And we're going to see another one on the bump tonight in Will McAfee from South Dakota State. In addition to him, also Josh Mitchell, so kind of that 3 starting all-stars in their rotation, as now Alcantara will take a strike on the outside corner, 0-1, as well as Ben Polshuk of Cal Poly. So a couple of teammates, Dondeville and Polshuk, both being named to the all-star team. I believe teammates also of Michael Clark here on the Grey Wolves, as well as Dylan Doherty, as this pickoff attempt. There, no tag from Nick Snyder at first. In fact, I believe we're going to have Michael Clark up here in the booth during that second inning. Similar to the way we had Carter Book up here last time, is now a swing and a miss there on a changeup in the dirt from Alcantara, and it's 0-2. Had Carter Book in there last night, still working on cutting up that interview. Hopefully can get it for all of you, putting on some form of social media site out there for the public. At the very least, hopefully Carter's family can enjoy what I enjoyed, which was a great interview, very articulate, very welcoming of all types of questions. And now this ball squeaks away from Clanky, likely going to be ruled a pass ball there, and that's what it is that one just tipped off the glove right there on the inside corner and allowed Matt Lautz to get to second base. Now defensively, behind the plate, Clanky as well as Matt Cairo, who we saw last night, have been a bit shaky, if you will. And what I mean by that is there's been a couple of balls, whether they be in the dirt or kind of off to both sides of the plate, where they've had trouble keeping them in front. They've also not been able to hold runners from stealing bases, as now Benavides misses inside with a fastball to even the count at 2-2. As Clanky, it looks like he threw this one that tipped off the glove of Benavides. Fortunately, right to the second baseman, Perrin, as he'll pick it up and toss it back into the pitcher. So already possibly some early game yips there for Clanky. Nonetheless, Benavides has his sign, checks the runner on second as Lautz was dancing, and now will step off and turn his attention toward the second baseman Perrin, giving him signs. Maybe just trying to let Lautz know that he's paying a little bit more attention to him now. We'll see if that affects his attention to the plate. As a 2-2 on the way, it does not. This changeup swung on in the dirt. Clanky will pick it up, go to first base, and it's dropped by Nick Snyder. It kicks off the glove. Something right there did not connect as miscommunication. Some form of error either being charged to the catcher or the first baseman. We'll wait for the official call. Nonetheless, Matt Lautz is allowed to come around to score from second base, and it's already 1-0 Victoria. And so we're deciding right now, along with our official scorer, PA guy, and all-around social media guru. And the official scoring is an E3, as that one was around the midsection of Snyder. It was kind of a quick toss by Clanky, as now a pickoff attempt over to first base is not in time. But nonetheless, the Gray Wolves continuing to shoot themselves in the foot, as it looked like Clanky did make a good toss from the drop third strike, as that'll go down as a K for Benavides, as another pickoff attempt over to first is not in time. So a drop third strike as Alcantara charged with a strikeout in the at-bat, but is still able to reach first, as there's still just one out. Already 1-1 in the form of Lautz. So he was able to get to second on the pass ball and then come around to score on an error. So the Gray Wolves giving Victoria extra chances here, as now this changeup misses low. Ball one to the batter, Joe Pryor. And that's something you simply cannot afford to do, and the defense has been kind of a topic of discussion throughout the majority of this season. I've had multiple conversations with head coach Justin Barkas about it. He says that it's a bit inconsistent, although in these last couple days it has really seemed to hurt the Gray Wolves, as now a fastball misses outside here to Pryor, 2 balls and no strikes. It seems like at least the majority of the struggles have kind of come from different areas. It's not like there's been one concentrated position, as this one is hit high and deep out to left center field. Giving chase is Cardinelli, and he will watch this one go. A home run off the bat of Joe Pryor, a round tripper from the cleanup spot, and that will bring in 2 runs in the form of Alcantara as well as Pryor himself. And just like that, Victoria not wasting any time getting on the board here. 3-0 already in this top of the first. So a 2-run bomb there from Pryor, as that is his 4th home run of the season, 20th and 21st RBIs, as he now trails Ben Polshuk, who's coming to the plate by just 1 home run for the team lead. Polshuk, of course, like I mentioned, a North Division All-Star selection, as he's leading the team in multiple categories. 5 home runs, 13 runs scored, 16 RBIs, as well as 15 walks. Not all of those in front in terms of offensive statistics as he takes ball 1 low and inside. But he's also hitting .289, making his 19th start. 13 hits and 45 at-bats, so has really been kind of centered in the middle of the order as he now takes ball 1 again inside, says the home plate umpire Ed Rye, 2-0. But has been able to utilize a multitude of skills and tools, as they call it in the baseball world, to his advantage. Also has a decent amount of steals as Benavides misses again inside with a fastball, and it's 3-0. Polshek swiped his 7th bag last night, which is now tied for the team lead between him, Snyder, and Silva, as a 3-0 right down the heart of the plate for strike 1. But nonetheless, Polshek has been a staple in this Harbor Cats order. He's able to provide so many different things. As now the 3-1 on the way is taken for a strike, a fastball at the knees. So Benavides probably trying to put that home run behind him, get back in this count, as it looked like the remnants of that long ball kind of stuck with him for the first 3 pitches of this at-bat, and now has an opportunity to bounce back and get an out. As a payoff pitch on the way, soft grounder over to the left side. Connor Zickaboos will let that one go foul, the third baseman this evening for Gresham. And we'll do it again, full count. Gray Wolves wearing their home white uniforms. We saw those a couple nights ago on Tuesday. The gold Gray Wolf across the chest with the black trim. The black number on the back with the gold trim, so reversing fashions there. Also some gray kind of claws, if you will, stemming up from around the belt to around the midsection on the shirt, as well as a Gray Wolf on the right shoulder. Also Gresham wearing, of course, their high socks. All of their pants really up around the knees, as Benavides, along with Perrin, wearing the stirrups, all along with the right fielder, Josh Adams. That's a new look for Adams, as we generally see him just with the all-solid black socks, but nonetheless, now the payoff pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Gabe Benavides gets his man right there as Polshek goes down on strikes. Might have chased ball 4 as he got him to go upstairs on a fastball. But nonetheless, 2 outs here in the top of the first, and now Tommy Jew coming to the plate. And Jew, in this series, has absolutely killed the Gray Wolves. We were having a discussion earlier before the game as to which member of the Victoria Harbor Cats would be selected for the beer batter, as Jew now takes a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. And there are plenty of names throughout there, looking through the statistics, trying to see which Harbor Cat had struck out the most. But the one unanimous non-selection was Tommy Jew, as he is so far in this series gone 4 for 9. Now pops one up over into shallow right field, incoming Adams, as he will make the catch. So fortunately, Jew remains off base this time around, but not before the Harbor Cats strike for 3. Louts comes around after an error from the first baseman, Nick Snyder, and then Joe Pryor sends a long ball to deep left center field. His 4th home run of the season, and that puts him ahead 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. So we'll take a break here on Gresham Gray Wolves Live. Again, I'm Evan Giddings, bringing you Gresham Gray Wolves baseball. They trail it after just the top of the first inning, 3-0.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Gray Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Gray Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Gray Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Gray Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
And so now as we come back to you here in the bottom of the first, it'll be the right-hander for Victoria, Will McAfee on the mound from North Vancouver, British Columbia, the 6'2" right-handed pitcher. a freshman this year at South Dakota State University. And we mentioned a variety of all-stars for the Harbor Cats, a total of 5, with McAfee, of course, being one of them. And from South Dakota State University, this righty has been arguably the most dominant arm on the staff. A 1.46 ERA through 6 starts, which is most on the team. And he owns an absurd strikeout per 9 innings ratio of 11.5. So going to be using the K to his advantage here tonight, and hopefully the Gresham Gray Wolves will be able to put the ball in play as the leadoff man Dylan Doherty will step to the plate. And also, I noted how he's been the most dominant, but not necessarily the most consistent pitcher, like what we saw from Dondeville last night. As the first pitch on the way is a hard fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Dondeville has been their most consistently spectacular pitcher through the first half, in ERA sub-1 coming into the game last night, as the Gray Wolves were able to tag him for 4. And now a big looping breaking ball here manages to drop through the top of the strike zone, and Doherty's down 0-2. As for things that the Gray Wolves can try and focus on to take advantage of in this ball game, he hasn't made a start in just over 2 weeks, since June 30th, as Doherty will tap this one off to the left, out of play, foul. So they got that going for him. Maybe catch him in some sort of early inning slip-ups, and someone with command issues as well. And we're not being a bit nitpicky here, but he's walked 18 through 30 and 2/3 innings. So command issues is something that can arise at times for the right-hander McAfee. As Doherty now sends a line drive into center field. Sinking in is incoming Matt Louts, and he'll make the catch. Nice play there for Louts, showing off a bit of range there in center field as Doherty is robbed of a base knock. And that'll go to the second batter of the ball game, and the DH this evening for Gresham, Jack Johnson.
Number 8, Jack Johnson.
So as for Keys' success for this Gray Wolf offense against an arm that has not surrendered very many runs, has not seen too very many base runners, they'll need to attack him early and hopefully take advantage of possibly some issues in terms of walks from McAfee, as now Johnson takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Also something I kind of looked into, McAfee's strike percentage, and of the 5 starters or 5 primary starters for Victoria, has the lowest strike percentage. As you see now, misses inside and gets him with a curveball, a breaking ball that did not bend quite far enough back, as Johnson simply turned his shoulder and will take himself a free base. So after being in and around the strike zone, hadn't thrown a ball yet, McAfee misses too far in, and Johnson works himself a free base. So now Mark Cardinale coming to the plate, batting third, as we'll go through the rest of this order for the Gray Wolves. Josh Adams batting cleanup, Ryan Smith hitting 5th, Connor Zickafoos batting 6th, Ben Klenke batting 7th, Nick Snyder hitting 8th, and Curtis Perrin finishing out in the 9-hole. As now Cardinale will step to the plate. First pitch on the way to him is a fastball that misses low, ball 1. From watching him down in the bullpen as well as his warm-ups, looks like McAfee fastball change curve. A big 12-6 looping curveball, which is likely his put-out pitch. Wasn't necessarily in and around the plate with that changeup, so likely going to be fastball, curveball combination, as he now misses outside and low here, 2-0. Although has a 4-1 record. Of course, we mentioned the 1.46 ERA through 30 and 2/3 innings. But in his last 2 outings was kind of used out of the bullpen. Not exactly sure why, maybe just giving the arm a bit of rest. As he now fires another fastball that misses low. 3 in a row here to Cardinale. 1 pitch away from ball 4. His last start, like I mentioned, on June 30th against the Kelowna Falcons. Pitched in a 9-1 victory. Went 5 innings, 5 shutout innings, only allowing 3 hits, as he now fires a fastball right down the heart of the plate, strike 1. 3 scattered hits. He did allow 4 walks, but also had 5 strikeouts. As he now peers in from the stretch, and much like Dondeville, is pitching from the stretch the entirety of the game. So even in wind-up situations when there's nobody aboard, as now Cardinale will take a fastball on the outside corner. Might have thought it was a tad low, but nonetheless, Ed Wright calls it strike 2. So like Dondeville, who we saw last night, purely out of the stretch, and maybe that's just a taste thing, whether it be for these particular individuals or maybe a Harbor Cats pitching tradition, or I should say type of movement, type of windup, if you will, as this one laced into center field, and Cardinale's going to have himself a base hit, moving Jack Johnson up to second base.
The right fielder, number 32, Josh
And so now Adams will come to the plate, playing right field for Gresham. Defensively for Victoria, left to right in the outfield, it'll be Ben Polshuk, Matt Lautz, A.J. Alcantara in right. Left to right on the infield, Brad Plushkel, Tommy Jew, Griffin Anderchuk, and Matt Smith. So Smith and Plushkel, who we saw in the first game of this series, now returning to their positions. We saw them on Tuesday night as Adams takes a fastball over the outside edge for strike one. Joe Pryor behind the plate. He hit that 2-run home run in the top half of this first inning. And, of course, Will McAfee on the mound. Apart from his very first start, McAfee hasn't given up more than an earned run in any of his outings as he now misses with a fastball outside here to Adams to even the count. Back on June 4th against the Walla Walla Sweets, of course, that was a part of the 3-game sweep that you could argue kind of sparked that 19-game streak that they put together. An unbelievable streak of 19 games in a row. You just simply don't see that too often as this curveball misses low in the dirt, blocked by Pryor and kept it in front as Johnson will have to scamper back to second. And now Pryor will go out and have a quick chat with his battery mate. Now, as for winning streaks in baseball, really the longest one that comes to my mind, of course, the 2002 Athletics winning 20 ball games in a row. And that was something that was just completely unbelievable, unfeasible at the time, and spanned nearly a month, which is what happened for the Harbor Cats. After they lost those first 3 games, they only lost one other game in the first half of their North Division plays. After that first series, ended up going 23-1 as this one has popped up and over to the left side, going to get out of play, foul to even the count at 2-2. So already a 3-0 ball game in favor of Victoria over the Gresham Grey Wolves as they were able to plate 3. Only 2 of those runs earned, however, as all 3 of those runs came on 2 hits with the help of 1 error from Gresham. And really a key one as Klenke on a drop third strike threw it around the midsection of Ben Klenke, or rather Nick Snyder, the first baseman. However, he was unable to get a glove on it as it tipped off the edge and just got down the right field line. Now Adams, big swing and a miss there as he just swung under that fastball. Some high cheese that time from Will McAfee, and his first strikeout of the ball game. And that's something that the Grey Wolves are going to have to keep an eye on. Not only that K total, but just in general, focusing on putting the ball in play, especially with runners on base. Adams not necessarily the fastest runner, so could have turned into a double play. However, you would have liked to see him at least fight off a couple more pitches, maybe make McAfee work a little more, which is exactly what they did last night against Austin Dondeville. It's now one of the 2 West Coast League All-Star selections for Gresham. Ryan Smith will come to the plate. The other one, Jeff Mitchell Jr., we saw him in the first 2 series as he gets tonight off. And now the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses outside 1-0. So Smith making his 35th start, most on the team. The only one close, of course, is Mitchell Jr. himself as he's at 31. I wonder how he feels about that with Smith getting to play every single day. Of course, sort of indispensable out there in center field, but nonetheless, Mitchell Jr. certainly deserving of a day off, maybe a bit of rest, as Smith will pop this one up foul back out beyond our heads here, 1-1. Last night, Smith had a really big hit late in the game that at the time gave you an idea or possible chance that the Grey Wolves could come back in this ball game and win, as now the 1-1 on the way sprayed off to the right just past the dugout there of the Harbor Cats for strike 2. Went 2 for 5 with a 2-out RBI single in the 6th. That at the time drove them within 3. It was 7-4 at that time before, of course, Victoria put up 4 more runs in that ball game and added an additional one in the ninth to make it the final score of 12-4. But Ryan Smith, it seems like whenever the Grey Wolves are in need of a base knock in these 2-out situations, he's been their guy as he fights this one back off the screen here. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. He, along with Perrin, the only members of the Gresham order last night to record multiple hits. Of course, Perrin 3/4 of the way to the cycle as he had a single, double, and a triple. One could argue the triple is the hardest one to get. As now McAfee in the 1-2 count popped up into shallow right field over near the foul line, giving chase to the first baseman Smith as well as the right fielder Alcantara, but no one's going to get there as it was out beyond the reach of either of those players by a sizable amount. I'd say about 10 feet. Nonetheless, is going to go as a long strike as Smith will head back to home plate, retrieve the lumber, and try to go to work here against McAfee. Now, 6'2" is McAfee, but 195 pounds and a very stocky-looking figure with certainly a lot of cheddar behind that pitch. A hard fastball, which I'm sure has been his most dependable pitch this summer. Although early on in this game has shown no problem going to that breaking ball. We'll see if he does that here. 1-2, there it is. Swung on and missed by Smith. Actually, in fact, tipped into the glove there of the catcher, Joe Pryor. So nice play on both ends as back-to-back strikeouts ends the possible threat here for the Gray Wolves in the first inning. So we'll head to the second here on Gray Wolves Live with the bottom of the order coming up for the Harbor Cats, Plushgale, Smith, and Anderson when we return here on Gray Wolves Live. I'm Evan Giddings, and we'll take a quick break now. The Gray Wolves trail 3-0.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so now as we come back to you here in this top of the second inning with the Harbor Cats coming to the plate, we have a special guest joining us in the broadcast booth here at Osland Field. Closer for the Gresham Gray Wolves, Michael Clark, as the first pitch on the way misses outside. Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing pretty swell. Trying to hopefully find a way to get you guys back in this ball game down 3-0. As the second pitch now on the way misses low.
Yeah, no, I think that's something we've definitely done well lately is come from behind. Everyone in the dugout never feels like we're out of it, so we always have some fight in us.
Yeah, and especially even that first game that you were a part of, getting that save in the 9-8 victory, as this one is tapped off over to the right for the first strike of the at-bat. In a game like that that's going kind of both ways and your offense is responding, Book obviously a great relief performance going 4 2/3, and you had to come in and kind of close that game. How did that feel coming in that type of situation? As now this one is tapped up the middle, and looks like it's going to get through it. Cut off there by the shortstop Doherty, but it's nonetheless going to be an infield single. Sorry about that. Take us through that kind of mindset going there as a closer in the last inning.
I think warming up, you're just kind of trying to stay loose and not really think about too much. And then once you finally get out there for the ninth, you want to just pound zone and try to get ahead of hitters and let them get themselves out. Always trust my defense and just try to get ground balls. But I think a lot of it's just not letting all the nonsense get to you, especially in that first game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of extra stuff going on. So just not really thinking about that and just trying to pound zone.
As the first pitch on the way here to Matt Smith misses outside. Yeah, you mentioned kind of the extracurricular activities going on in that ball game. There's, I believe, 3 or 4 ejections on the side of Victoria. And speaking to Carter as well, he said it was getting kind of chippy between the other team as well as the home plate umpire, who is, again, behind the plate tonight, Ed Rye, as this one misses low and outside. So he spoke a little bit about trying to put that away in the back of his mind. But does that get you a little bit? Do you think about it a bit during the ball game?
I think definitely in my inning with 2 outs was when their head coach actually got ejected. So I don't know if that was something to try to get me out of a groove or just to fire up his team. But you just kind of got to brush it off and kind of laugh at it almost, just because it's kind of funny, like watching it from the pitcher's mound, watching everything happen. So I don't know, you just don't really let it get to you.
What exactly did happen? Because I kind of had trouble seeing that from up here in the booth. If maybe you have a better story.
So I think with the head coach, what happened was he announced a pinch hitter, and he had done it like 3 batters in a row. And apparently on the third one, the umpire finally wrote it down on the first 2. He just let it go, didn't write it down in his book. So the head coach over there said, "Oh, what? You're gonna write this one down, but not the other ones?" And finally, he had enough.
That's all
of
she
it.
wrote.
Yeah. I mean, the guy got his first warning in the first inning, so I definitely thought he was gonna get tossed a little earlier than that, but just how it worked out.
Yeah, no, these guys have definitely been after, especially seems particularly possibly trying to pick a bit on the home plate umpire, was the field umpire last night, Ed Rye. Although Colin Price's strike zone last time seemed to be a bit wider, and I think that was really the main area of concern in the first game, as this one is slapped over to the right side and is going to get past Curtis Perrin over in second base into right field. Adams will pick it up, play it in. That'll cause the runner at first base, Plushkill, to stop at second. But a couple of base knocks here to begin this second here for Victoria. And that offense is something they hang their hats on, and something I'm sure you heard about coming into this series.
Yeah. I'd say the biggest thing is with the Harbor Cats is their ability to hit, and I mean they have the league leader in home runs, Ben Polshek, one of my college teammates. So kind of always gotta go through the lineup, look at the scouting reports, and talk with coach about where you want to pitch these guys. A lot of it's mental, and just trying to outthink the other team. So.
And that was the DH. Ryan Anderson will come to the plate. So take us through that. How is that? Yeah, you mentioned before we got on the air, 5 of you out here on the field right now, 5 Cal Poly San Luis Obispo Mustangs. So how is that having all these guys here, a couple on your team, a couple on the other team?
I'd say it's pretty awesome. We're on the quarter system, so those guys always come in late. So I came in the first day, and I had already known a couple teammates, so it was a lot easier to connect with the other guys. And then when you're playing your own teammates, it's always pretty funny, just like looking over to the other side and smiling at them. And then after the game, always trying to get something to eat, just talking to them about their summer and how it is playing for a different team. And it was pretty cool watching Donaville pitch last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started for the Harbor Cats, and he's always a good friend of mine back in SLO, so it was pretty cool to watch him do well. I mean, even though we obviously wanted to win, but.
And obviously on your team, Dylan Doherty, also a former or a teammate, I should say, not a former, as this one is grounded over the left side. Zikafus will have it, go to third, try to turn 2 across the diamond. It is not in time. Only able to get 1 out, but keeping runners.
Close.
Yeah, that was a bang play over there at first base, but keeping runners at second and first with 1 out. And Doherty was able to, I believe, go 1 for 2 in terms of winning the battles at the plate. Did he say anything about it after the game, or have a big laugh with Donaville?
No, there was just a lot of talk before the game about who was going to win the matchups. Donaville just kept telling him that he was going to strike him out, and Dylan was saying that he was going to hit a homer off of him, but I guess a single will do for Dylan.
Well, he, along with Perrin, kind of been those 2 mini-me's up the middle as well as at the top of the order, and Perrin himself was able to put up a couple of extra base knocks, was actually a home run away from the cycle last night. As now the first pitch on the way here to Matt Louts is a fastball on the outside edge, strike 1.
Yeah, no, up the middle, it's going to be tough. A lot of guys are going to have to be called on just about every game because the injury to Michael Breen and also Mark Mumper leaving just because there was too many guys up the middle. But now a lot of guys are going to get a lot of playing time, so it'll be pretty good for them to get multiple at-bats a game instead of just coming in the 9th for a pitch at bat. Let them get in their groove and see what they can do.
And it also seems like there's going to be some mix-up in terms of the pitching staff, especially the starting rotation is Benavides misses low here. So maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that.
So a lot of pitchers are given innings limits by their college coaches, and a few guys are getting close to hitting it. So we're looking I think we've brought in 2 more pitchers in the last 2 days, so hopefully those guys can come in and help out. But, yeah, I think a few pitchers are going to have to move to the bullpen, actually, just so that they don't go over their innings limit here pretty soon.
As this one swung on and missed. And as for you being in the closer position, is that something that you have been at Cal Poly, or have kind of been moved around, whether it be in the pen or in the starting rotation?
I think at Cal Poly, just the talk is of me coming out of the bullpen, but here I'm just trying to do whatever I can do to help the team win.
Okay.
And that happens to be coming into close games. So as long as I can keep doing that and just keep throwing strikes, everything will pan out, I think, for Cal Poly.
Well, it seems like you've done a pretty good job so far. A couple of saves is now Bluff back to second base. No pickoff attempt there from Benavides. And do you have to change your mindset a little bit, or do you think it stays the same whether you're coming in the 6th, 7th, or whether you're coming in the 9th in a one-run ball game?
Oh yeah, I think your mindset changes a little bit because if you're coming in the earlier innings, you kind of have other innings that you can help get some more run support. But when you come in the 9th, it's kind of like do or die.
Yeah,
you're there to close it out and win the game for you guys. But I don't know. I'd say not thinking about it too much. Just trying to protect your 1-run lead or your 2-run lead or whatever it is, and try to get the win.
Definitely. As this one, as a fastball misses off the plate, runs the count full here. So 1 out with Matt Smith on second base. Ryan Anderson on first after the fielder's choice. Gabe Benavides kind of thrown into the starting role here tonight, as we've talked about the innings limit, and David Wallum, one of those guys now being signed to Washington State, having to be shut down. So Benavides is the guy that has to step up. And it seems like throughout the season there's been guys that have been stepping up, whether it be offensively or in the bullpen or in the starting rotation. As the payoff pitch now on the way, runners go, chopper over to the left side, going to kick foul, and we'll do it again, full count. And it seems like you guys really all season, as now Clanky will go out and talk to Benavides for a quick second. It seems like you guys all season have really relished that next man up mindset, and definitely in a lot of situations have been able, I think, to come through because of that mindset. So how do you go about sort of owning that?
I think a lot of that has to do with just the team coming together, like on the road trips and everything. And I'd say you see guys with 1 out not getting the job done and them just getting right up on the dugout and saying, hey, come pick me up right here. And a lot of the times our guys have been coming up pretty big and usually scoring those runs with 2 outs and picking up the other guy, so that helps big time. But, yeah, I'd say overall it's just getting to know each other on the road and everything like that and trusting the next guy up.
Yeah, and that magic that you guys were able to create on the road, clearly evident to begin the second half as you took 5 out of 6. And now I lost the game last night, but still 6-2 here to begin the second half as now runners go, swing and a miss. No throw from Clanky as it looked like nobody was on second base, and the runner on third with a great jump. So the double steal there as Matt Smith swipes third and Ryan Anderson moves up to second base. That's something we've seen a lot this series as well. The Harbor Cats not afraid to make stuff happen on the base pass. Not any player in particular with a gaudy amount of stolen bases, but it just seems like everyone at any time, 1 through 9, can go out there and swipe a bag. And that's also been one of the strengths. I talked a little bit with Barkus about the strengths of this Victoria team. Of course, I'm sure you heard about the 19-game winning streak. I don't believe you were here for the trip up to Victoria.
Yeah, correct.
But I'm sure, obviously, you've heard of it as the fly ball out to medium deep center field. Now coming in is Ryan Smith as he'll make the catch, and that'll retire the side. So you're going to stick around for the bottom of the inning?
Yeah, I'll be here for the bottom half, I believe so, yeah.
Perfect. So Michael Clark will be back with us as we head to the bottom of the second inning, and we'll take a break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Live. I'm Evan Giddings again with Michael Clark. Don't go anywhere.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area.
And so now we return to action here in the bottom of the second. Evan Giddings alongside Michael Clark, closer for the Gresham Grey Wolves, as Connor Zickafus, Ben Klinke, and Nick Snyder will come to the plate against Will McAfee. Now, obviously, haven't been a hitter, I assume, for a long time. But when you are across from these type of pitchers with these unreal statistics, at least coming into this first half, what are you thinking about going up against this type of pitching staff? Even as a guy in the bullpen,
I think,
especially when you know a couple of them as well.
So with Donville yesterday, I was telling all the guys what he typically throws, and he's a majority fastball curveball guy. So I was trying to help the hitters out, tell him that he won't go to the changeup very often, but he'll throw a lot of curveballs to try to get ahead. So that's kind of what he did.
Yeah, and I think he threw upwards of around 120 pitches through 6 innings. Or at least over the century mark. I heard it was around 120. Is that typically around his workload during the season?
No, actually, he was usually first or second guy out of the bullpen, so I don't think he ever got a start, so he was usually only about 40 pitches. But a lot of the times they'd use him back-to-back days, so he kind of got that same workload.
This one roped into right field. Right at the right fielder, Alcantara. He slips, though, falls down. The ball gets by him all the way to the ivy out in right field. Zickafus going to turn hard at second. Will have himself a stand-up triple here. Connor Zickafus to begin the bottom of the second inning. Starts it with a bang here all the way to the walls. Alcantara misplayed that one. Looked like the sun might have had something to do with it. Nonetheless, struggling out there in the outfield. And have you talked to any of the players that play on the right side of the infield, particularly early in the ball game, because the sun kind of bears down from left?
I think a lot of it's the same for everybody. It's pretty bad for the hitters right now. You see the shadows right behind the pitcher's mound, so it's pretty hard to pick up for a lot of the guys.
This one now, another fly ball sent into deep center field. Giving chase is Louds, and he'll make the over-the-shoulder catch. A nice play there, but easily far enough to bring in Ben Klinke, Zickafus from third base. So a sacrifice fly has the Grey Wolves here on the board, cutting into the trail there, 3-1.
I'd say that's the story for the last couple games. Is a lot of guys are hitting the ball really hard, but just right at everyone. So pretty soon they're going to start to drop, hopefully.
Yeah, and not necessarily doing it with the long ball, though.
Yeah.
The man coming to the plate, Nick Snyder, has one of those. Just 3 total on the season, and 2 came in 1 game. So really having to utilize other methods to put runs across, as now Snyder pops this one up, foul out of play, 0-1. And especially on the road, at least keeping up with the team and listening into the broadcast, I heard you on with Fletcher as well as Carter. A very entertaining inning right there from you guys. As the second pitch misses low here, 1-1. So being on the road, you talked about you guys coming together definitely as a squad. But also, I mean, during those games, the atmosphere in the dugout, I would assume, doesn't really waver inning 1 through 9.
Oh, definitely not. You think our energy would be pretty low after, what was it, like a 9-hour bus ride, I think?
Yeah. Actually, that's a story you can get into right now. I heard about it, but what exactly happened at the border there?
So we stopped at the border, or when we were trying to cross the Canadian border, we got stopped and we all had to get off, but what happened was we went to the wrong entrance. We went to where like big trucks were supposed to go, not buses. We were supposed to go through the normal entrance. So they had to stop us, and everyone had to get off, and they had to take everyone's passport, check everything in the bus, and it ended up taking about 3 hours, I think. So we kind of, while they were checking the bus, we were just kind of walking around the town looking for something to do, looking for food to eat. So yeah, we ended up.
As this one is popped up on the infield, right to the shortstop. Nick Snyder struck out in his previous at-bat, so this will retire the side. As after a leadoff triple and a sacrifice fly, the Grey Wolves go in turn 1, 2, 3. Again, Michael Clark in here for the second inning. It has been a pleasure, and thank you so much for coming on the broadcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
Again, Evan Giddings along with Michael Clark as we take a break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Live. We'll be back here at the top of the third inning right after this.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Bum ba dum da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children.
And so now we return to action here in this top of the third with the Harbor Cats coming to the plate. Again, in that previous inning, a guest in the booth here, Michael Clark, the closer for the Gresham Grey Wolves. A great time having him here in the booth. And, in fact, one of the stories was cut short. So apparently on the very first road trip up to, I believe it was Kelowna, they ended up getting the sweep there. But prefacing that three-game sweep on the very first day, they drove up at 6 a.m., was a 9-hour bus ride, as you heard from Clark, as the first pitch on the way here to Alcantara misses outside 1-0. A 9-hour bus ride that was extended by 3 hours because they got to the border, apparently, and drove into where the trucks are supposed to stop as Alcantara flips this one, a fly ball down the left field line, but playable right there for Cardinale. He'll snag it for the first out of the inning. And so, with those additional 3.5 hours, because they drove into a truck stop, had to find another route and had to go through a different entrance into Canada. And in fact, I heard got there 20 minutes before game time, as Justin Barkas described it. Just enough time for our starting pitcher to warm up and just enough time for our guys to get loose. So kudos to them to going in and getting that victory in that day, having to face all that adversity from the Canadian border itself, as now Benavides fires in a first pitch strike on the inside corner here to Joe Pryor. So we got ourselves a 3-1 ball game. The Grey Wolves did strike back in that bottom of the second. The leadoff triple from Zickafoos. This one roped through the left side, actually kicks up off the lip there. Cardinale's going to have to play that one on a hop. As an interesting bounce there, nonetheless, has a single for Joe Pryor, who hit a home run in his last at-bat, so 2 for 2 now, as he's got the first multi-hit performance of the night. And on a young evening, as it's only just the top of the third with Ben Polshuk coming to the plate. So Polshuk, who has provided much of the power so far here for Victoria, kind of taking a seat, or a back seat, I should say, here to Joe Pryor early on in this ball game. Polshuk struck out in his first at-bat in a full count, as now Benavides will work from the stretch. 1 out. Now kicks and fires, and a change-up that misses just a tad high and outside, 1-0. Polshuk in his last 9 only hitting 125, however. In fact, has only played in 3 games, so in his 8 at-bats, only 1 hit so far. Did not have a great performance last night, as he was 0 for 3, although did have a sacrifice fly as well as earning himself a walk. Now a couple shakes here from Benavides. Now some miscommunication as Klenke will head back out to the mound. Klenke was the man who hit the sacrifice fly in the previous inning that brought Zickafoos in. In fact, it was actually a nice play that kind of halted a rally, or a possible rally for Gresham. Matt Louds made a nice over-the-shoulder catch during that bottom of the second inning. Of course, would have put Klenke at the very least on second base and might have had them with an opportunity to put up some more runs with nobody out. But Louds was able to stifle that, and the Grey Wolves ended up going 1-2-3 after that sacrifice fly, as Polshuk taps this one off to the right side of the plate. Foul. 1-1. Also with that single from Pryor, now 5 hits for Victoria already in this ball game. They collected 15 in game 1, 13 in game 2. In fact, last night, 5 members of the Harbor Cats lineup with 2 hits or more. P.J. Floyd, Austin Gabor, Tommy Jew, Joe Pryor, Jake Stone. And Pryor had 3 hits, in fact, last night, as him and Jew have really been the Grey Wolf killers so far in this series, as Benavides misses with a fastball off the plate, 2-1. And they've been certainly earning those runs, although with a little bit of help from Gresham last night. 3 errors on the part of the Grey Wolves defense resulted in just 1 unearned run, but still mainly getting all of those on RBIs. Now Benavides bounces one. Ben Klinke can't keep it in front as it squirts away, and that'll allow Pryor to get up to second base on a wild pitch. That's the official ruling. We've already seen 1 pass ball so far this evening that allowed Louts to move up to second base back in the first before eventually coming around to score on the Nick Snyder error. That produced a couple of runs, in fact. Alcantara also reached on the play on a drop third strike. So now the 3-1 on the way. Fastball roped down the left field line, but slicing foul. Just a couple of feet beyond that third base chalk. And a bit of a break there for Benavides, as that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So with a runner on second and 1 out, 3-1 the ball game. All 3 runs coming in that top of the first. Victoria wasting no time getting on the board, as they were able to plate 2 runs in the first game of this series, hopping right on the Grey Wolf starter at the time, Spud Heidemann. Had a bit of a rough one, only ended up going 3 1/3, allowing 6 earned runs. As now the payoff pitch on the way here to Polshuk is popped up over on the left side, now carrying into shallow left field over to the shortstop Doherty. He will call off Cardinale and make the catch for the second out. So a nice pitch there from Benavides in on the hands of the very dangerous Polshuk, and able to get him to pop out to his shortstop for the second out and an opportunity to strand that runner on second base. Unfortunately, Tommy Jew coming to the plate will be a tough test here for Benavides, as Jew has recorded a hit in every single game, at least in the last couple of games and over, in fact, the last 7. Batting .385 through 4 games, 5 hits and 13 at-bats, 3 runs scored, a triple and a home run, along with 4 RBIs. Now the first pitch on the way to him after a long peer in from Benavides. Now finally throws it. Changeup in the dirt. Cannot be kept in front by Klinke. Tried to backhand that ball as it skipped on over the glove and back to the backstop. So that'll go as another wild pitch. As Klinke, along with the backstop of last night, Cairo, have, at least as of late, it seemed like they were coming into the summer season, at least the first half of the season. Cairo kind of stood out as a defensive stopper. But as of late, him along with Klinke have simply been unable to keep that ball in front, whether it be not using their chest or trying, in this case, like Klinke did, to backhand that ball. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. A breaking ball that time that misses just off the edge outside 2-0 here to Jew. And any time a base runner is allowed to move up 90 feet, especially when you got an offense like Victoria's, it's going to give them multiple chances to put up an additional run, which in the case of this series has really come back to hurt Gresham. Now this one swung on and missed, a fastball buried in right below the hands, and Jew whiffed on it for strike 1. Jew also has struck out 3 times in his last 4 games. Struck out twice in the first game of the series. Once against Heidemann, once against the reliever Carter Book, as he now taps this one off the facing of the dugout there for the Grey Wolves on the left side to even it up at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with a runner on third base. Jew will take a long look. Now back in the box as he also takes a deep breath. Trying to find a way to get Plushkel on deck. Benavides trying to find a way to get his team back in the dugout. It's now the 2-2 pitch on the way here. Fastball out in front, roped down the left field line, but way foul. Out over near the tarp, which we haven't had to use in a couple of weeks now. And I'm glad to say, because at least early on in the season, the very first series of the summer, or the home series of conference play, I should say, they did have one non-league exhibition series against Thurston County, but The very first home series against the Cowlitz Black Bears was, on average, I believe around 95 degrees was the temperature. And then the very next week when they played at home, I believe against it was the Yakima Valley Pippins, the rain just continued to ensue. All three games we were wondering if we'd be able to get them in. And fortunately, we were able to. Is now the 2-2 on the way. Swung on and missed. Pulled the string right there with a changeup, and Jew is down on strikes. So Benavides leaves the runner at third after a base knock from Pryor. No runs, one hit, no errors, and a runner left on here for Benavides as we head to the bottom of the third inning with the Gray Wolves coming up. It'll be the top of the order, Doherty, Johnson, and Cardinale when we return here on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live. I'm Evan Giddings, and the Gray Wolves trail 3-1.
For your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Gray Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Gray Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Gray Wolves will be a howlin' time.
And so now we come back to here in the bottom of the third with the leadoff man, Dylan Doherty, coming to the plate. 1-2-3 here in this inning against Will McAfee, who so far has only allowed one run due to a big, loud hit to begin the bottom of the second off the bat of Connor Zickafoose. He roped one out beyond the right fielder, A.J. Alcantara. He kind of went back, I think misread the ball originally as it dropped right in front of him. So went backwards, ended up coming in. Eventually slipped and fell as the first pitch on the way to Doherty is a curveball. Didn't pull the trigger there, did Doherty, and take strike one. No balls and a strike. So Kantara slipped, and Zarkafus was able to take advantage, got all the way to third base, and then Klinke on the very next pitch brought him in with a sacrifice fly, as now Doherty will spray this one the opposite way, but will get out of play foul to the left. So a 3-1 ball game. That's the only run for the Gray Wolves as Victoria put up 3 in the top of the first. But since then have gotten a bit cold of these last 3 frames. Benavides has settled in nicely as Doherty takes a fastball way outside there. 1-2. Doherty last night 1 for 4 with a walk. Was that average at an even 250 now as this curveball is tapped over to the right side off the facing of the dugout for Victoria as the count remains 1-2. Of course, Doherty teammates with the closer for the Gray Wolves, who I had him in the booth in the second inning, Michael Clark. Throughout the previous inning, he was quite good. I thought very nice to talk to, very open, able to expand on a lot of different topics concerning the Gray Wolves as this one is taken inside and runs the count full. Actually, I believe it should be 2-2. Nonetheless, we'll check it out right here. Pitch on the way, and it doesn't matter as this one is sinking into right field. Going to get down for a base hit. A nice line drive there placed by Doherty over the head of Matt Smith and right in between the right fielder Alcantara. So Doherty's got himself a base knock to lead off this third inning. That's the way that things started in the second. Positive results there as hopefully the Gray Wolves can get something going here to try and get back in this ball game. They trail by 2 as now Jack Johnson will step to the plate. As in his first plate appearance, he was hit by a pitch, the second pitch of that at-bat. So looking to avoid getting contact from the baseball and looking forward to hopefully making contact, finding some barrel. So McAfee always in the stretch. Now kind of a quicker leg kick as he fires a fastball, chased it upstairs, did Johnson, he swings through that one. Looked like McAfee might have reached back for a little more giddy up on that fastball. Nonetheless, strike one. So now he has his sign. A couple of checks to first, now pick off over to first base. No tag there as Doherty is in with plenty of time. Doherty, a guy that hasn't necessarily flashed a ton of speed on the base paths, has 4 stolen bases throughout his 20 games played, but has been able to utilize his agility very well and really plays to his strengths, especially defensively. I think that's where we've seen a lot of the lateral quickness. Is now a stoppage of play has been called by Ed Rye for some reason, whether he was talking to the Harbor Cats dugout, which we saw him do a lot in Game 1. Nonetheless, has now resumed play as Johnson stepped back in the box, and the pitch on the way from McAfee is a curveball that graces the outside edge here, 0-2. McAfee has faced Gresham once. It was back on June 14th, went 5 2/3. In fact, that was the very first game of the series. So is McAfee Benavides in that matchup as well, as he misses high with the fastball for the first ball of the at-bat. And ended up getting the victory. I talked about it a little bit in the pregame as well as to begin this ball game when discussing how Benavides, even when he's had his best stuff, hasn't necessarily had as much run support. And probably the reason for his deceptive 1-3 record is this one laced over to the left side, stabbed by the third baseman Plushkill. He'll go to second, on to first base in time. A nicely turned 5-4-3 double play there by the Victoria Harbor Cats as their defense comes up big once again. And just like that, the leadoff single is erased. 2 outs here now in the third. So 5-4-3, Johnson is retired, and that ball was hit right on the button. And actually, that was another area that we talked about with Michael Clark in the second inning. The inability for these hard hits to fall for the Grey Wolves. He said they've been stinging them all over the place, but it seems like every time that ball finds barrel, it in turn also finds someone's glove, as the first pitch misses low here to Cardinale, 1-0. So now McAfee will work with nobody on base. Now second pitch, curveball that misses outside as well as in the dirt, 2-0. In that game against Gresham, McAfee only allowed 2 hits and struck out 9 through 5 2/3. As now this one popped up by Cardinale. Looking back as the catcher Pryor, but will get out of play over near the concession stand as we see a group of kids getting after that one. Hopefully someone's get themselves a free souvenir. Nonetheless, strike 1 here. So 2 balls and a strike with 2 outs here to Cardinale as McAfee has his sign. Comes set at the belt. And this one, another breaking ball that misses off the plate, 3-1. So far to this point, hasn't surrendered any free bases besides the Jack Johnson hit by pitch, but, I mean, hasn't walked any batters. So the command's been all right as Cardinale now sends a chopper over to the third baseman. Plushkill has it on one hop. Will go over to the first base in time to get Cardinale. So Plushkill first starts the double play and now completes the inning with a 5-3 putout as we go to the fourth here at Osland Field. Plushkill, that man, the third baseman, coming up, along with Matt Smith and Ryan Anderson when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Live. I'm Evan Giddings, and the Grey Wolves trail 3-1.
It's a howling good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is at home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so now we return to action here in this top half of the fourth inning here at Osland Field. Evan Giddings bringing you Gresham Grey Wolves baseball live here on the campus of Mount Hood Community College, where the sun just about beginning to set here. Not fully, however, as there's these streaks of sun days kind of rolling across the field, creating, Michael Clark described it best, sort of zebra stripes moving across the infield as there is some shadows going out from left field over to right, so kind of gracing the pass left to right across the field. Nonetheless, it's going to be
Leading off for Victoria.
Brad Plushkill come to the plate, along with Matt Smith and Anderson, the designated hitter for Victoria, all here. The bottom of the order, 7-8-9, as Benavides has been able to get out of a couple of jams. Left the bases loaded in the second inning and left a runner on third base in the third. Hopefully looking for a bit of an easier work here in this inning as he misses with a slider high and outside here, 1-0 to Plush Gale. The third baseman for Victoria not only turned a couple of nice plays in the bottom half of the third inning, but also has a single tonight. Now flips one over to the right side. Fly ball giving chases Adams over now to the quarter. Diving play, cannot make the catch. Frustrated with himself as the ball looked to just get a couple inches beyond the outstretched arms of Josh Adams, as he thought he should have had that play, but nonetheless a valiant effort there by Josh Adams, going full extension, laying out for that pitch, and I'm sure something that Gabe Benavides is very thankful for. Not the fact that he missed it, but understanding that any one of these players willing to lay out and sacrifice their bodies at any time for him. So nonetheless, we'll take a little bit of time here. Now Josh Adams appears to be okay as he scapers back and right. Had a bit of a slow time getting up, which is to be expected, but appears to be fine. As now the batter Plush Gale will get back in the batter's box with a 1-1 count. And Benavides in the windup now kicks and fires. Fastball chopper over to the right side. Curtis Perrin has it. Got a bit caught up in the midsection, but nonetheless is able to gather himself and go to first base in time for the first out. And these are these kind of funny hops that we've been seeing all series. Haven't necessarily seen them, at least in the first couple of home series, but maybe the way the field has been dragged, or possibly during the road series. There has been some rain here on the field, and although it has been maintained very well by the grounds crew here at Mount Hood Community College. Now the first pitch on the way here to Matt Smith is way outside. Get back to the screen there for ball one. But nonetheless, at least up the middle, Dylan Doherty, along with his middle infield counterpart, Curtis Perrin, it's sometimes difficult to tell them apart. Both of equal stature, around 5'9", 5'10", middle infielders, right-handers. Both hit at the top of the lineup. Both are left-handed. As now Smith takes a fastball outside 2-0. However, nonetheless, defensively, both of them have been spectacular so far this season, and I've really appreciated the way they take their fielding so seriously. As now this one, a changeup over the inside edge for strike one. It seems like they really are committed not only to hitting the ball, which is what everyone is excited about, but also takes pride in their defensive work. As the 2-1 gets under the shoot tops that time of Smith as he jumps out of the way of that one, 3 balls and 1 strike. However, some of these ground balls, especially in that first night, Doherty had a couple errors himself, and Perrin, I believe, had one last night. In fact, that was somewhat of a pivotal one around during that 5-run rally, allowed an extra runner to come across for Victoria as this fly ball laced into center field, but right at Ryan Smith. He'll take one step back, settle under it, and make the catch for the second out. So quickly 2 away here in the fourth. And going back to those ground balls, it just seemed like whether Doherty or Perrin they're charging the ground ball aggressively, which is what you're taught to do, especially on slow rollers, to attack that ground ball and not let it play you, and you want to dictate the hop. However, some of these ground balls have been skipping up a little bit prematurely, and whether it be around the lip of the infield, it just seems like Perrin and Doherty have had a tougher time during this series of getting ground balls. However, no problem here as Perrin will come in, scoop this one up over on the right side, throws on the run in time to complete the 4-3 putout and end this top of the fourth inning. So 1-2-3, that's as easy as it is for Gabe Benavides as we go to the bottom of the frame. Adams, Smith, and Zickafoos, 4, 5, 6 do up for the Grey Wolves when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
And so we're ready to go here in this bottom of the fourth. Again, Adams, Smith, and Zickafoos due to the plate, the middle of the order for the Gray Wolves, as Adams in his last at-bat, as well as Smith, both looking to atone for their strikeouts. Back-to-back Ks there swinging to end the first inning. And 2 of 3 strikeouts so far in the evening for right-hander Will McAfee, who so far has been pretty solid there, just as advertised for the Victoria Harbor Cats. Again, a 1.46 ERA coming into play and a 4-1 record. And in fact, the only loss he had was during that very first series. They were swept by the Walla Walla Sweets before eventually going on to winning 19 games in a row. So here in the rubber match, Will McAfee trying to get his team that series victory. And Josh Adams looking to try and come up here at the plate as he takes ball 1. Was able to provide essentially a victory-winning swing, or game-winning swing in Game 1. Hit a 3-run bomb in the bottom of the 7th inning to give his team a 9-8 victory. And check that in the bottom of the 8th as he now takes ball 2, a fastball high. Provided a 3-run home run out to right center field. A majestic shot here that traveled deep into the night. At the time was around 10:15. I mean, skyfall, absolutely black. And he hit a no-doubter that gave his team a 9-8 lead and eventually a 9-8 victory. He now takes ball 3 way outside. Gets back to the screen. There's Smith, the on-deck hitter, will go collect that one, rub it up, and send it back in. So nonetheless, McAfee in a bit of a hole here against Adams, of course, from UC Santa Barbara. McAfee, in fact, may have, I know that was Dondeville last night, the Cal Poly Mustang. These two might have faced off at some point, as now Adams takes a strike over the heart of the plate, 3-1. And along with Mustangs, there's a total of 5 of them. Not quite sure, besides Dondeville, who else on the roster for Victoria. However, Doherty as well as Michael Clark has a big swing and a miss here from Josh Adams. Has him now running the count full, 3-2. Michael Clark was a guest in the 2nd inning. Was able to get him in there. Like I mentioned, one of 5 Mustangs, as this one has popped up over to the left and out of play, foul. We'll do it again, 3-2. McAfee's most impressive start of this season came on June 19th against the Cowlitz Black Bears. Of course, got the victory, went 6 shutout innings, only allowed 2 hits, surrendered 2 walks, but struck out 10, which is something that he does very well. Doesn't necessarily go deep into ball games as he fires a fastball just below the knees there. A great eye from Josh Adams, able to work himself a 7-pitch walk. Or 7 pitches in the at-bat, I should say, a 4-pitch walk, but 7 total, as now Ryan Smith will come to the place with a runner on base. Doherty reached to begin the 3rd inning on a single out to right field, but it was quickly erased after Jack Johnson hit into a 5-4-3 double play. And then Cardinale quickly ended the inning, so McAfee essentially facing the minimum in that 3rd. Now the Grey Wolves hoping to learn from the mistakes in that last inning, move forward here. Possibly get a couple runners over, give themselves a chance to get a run. They trail at 3-1 here in the bottom of the 4th, as the first pitch on the way to Ryan Smith is a curveball that misses high up around the letters. And of course, just 2 hits so far for Gresham. One of them essentially resulting in a run, as Zickafoos hit a triple back in the 2nd, as now Smith misses, or rather takes another fastball low, as McAfee misses again, 2-0. So after going 3-0 to Adams, puts in 3 strikes in a row, then eventually falls as Adams drew the walk, although that pitch was pretty close. And now 2-0 to Smith here, and so the catcher Joe Pryor will go out to talk to him. Maybe try and calm him down a bit. And actually, another fact I learned, especially about some of these pitching staff members, especially the starting fashion, some of these starting pitchers for Victoria. Michael Clark told me that Austin Dondeville, who started last night, in fact, was mainly out of the bullpen, was kind of the first or second option out of the pen, as now Josh Adams will take a fake steal attempt over to second, heads back to first, as this one is popped up high on the infield and caught there by the second baseman, Griffin Anderchuk, for the first out. Adams took a couple of hard steps towards second base, but then eventually pulled up as he heard the crack of the bat. And now Connor Zickafoos will come to the plate. Him along with Cardinelli, the only two Gray Wolves to register base hits. His of an extra base kind. A triple out to right field, and one might even argue that Alcantara should have had it as he stands out there in right field. The sun really blazing right into the eyes, and a little perplexing as to why he has his sunglasses on top of his hat instead of on his face. But nonetheless, as Zickafoos takes a curveball outside, ball one. And that's something that always has puzzled me, especially when you're out there in the field. First baseman, we tend to see have the glasses on no matter what, just to make sure that they keep that sun out of their eyes, even though the rays aren't necessarily pouring in at this point. As the 1-0, slap the other way, line drive out to the gap. That ball is going to get down, two-hop the wall as the left fielder, Polshek, will have to pick it up, play it in. They're going to wave Adams all the way from first. The throw coming into home, and it is not in time. Josh Adams with a foot-first slide in beyond the tag right there of Joe Pryor, and Connor Zickafoos staying hot with another extra base hit, this one the opposite way into left center field, and an RBI double there that brings home Josh Adams 3-2 now in favor of Victoria as the Gray Wolves continue to claw their way back. Something they've done so well this entire season and beginning to manifest itself here in this fourth inning. So now with another hot-hitting Gray Wolf coming to the plate and Ben Klenke, maybe a chance for Gresham to try and put something together, tie up this ball game. Just one out. Now with the runner on second, big swing and a miss there from Klenke as he was eyeing another extra base hit. So nonetheless, that leadoff walk comes back to bite him. McAfee cannot finish off the full count at bat against Josh Adams, puts him on base. And then Adams moves well. We saw him flying around in the outfield in the previous inning as he almost had himself a diving play. Now this one, fastball low in the dirt, kicks off the glove there of Pryor off to the right side. That's going to allow Zickafoos to get to third base on the wild pitch. And now there's going to be a quick mound visit here from the head coach from Victoria, Greg Merritt. It appears he was coming out, and now it looks like the catcher, Joe Pryor, will go out and instead have that conversation for him. So maybe Merritt just trying to get his catcher to go settle down McAfee, maybe giving him a breather, refocus up. As Merritt also now asking for the count, as I believe it is 1-1. And it's now Klenke who's already got a sacrifice fly. An opportunity for another one here, or at least at the very least an RBI situation. And the Harbor Cats, who have the lead 3-2, will bring the infield in. Do not want to concede that run as now McAfee misses high above the shoulders that time with a curveball, 2 balls and a strike. And so Klenke, who played in that first game of the series, had the night off last night, batting .275. Third best on the Gray Wolves roster is now another breaking pitch misses low in the dirt outside, although blocked nicely by Pryor. Didn't allow that one to score it away. So 3 balls and a strike here to Klenke. And it's got to be good. Got to be right there. And Klenke, a very disciplined hitter. We'll see what he does here in the 3-1. Chopper over to the right side and is going to get foul. Fortunately and unfortunately in that situation as the ball got under the glove there of Matt Smith, although originally I thought he'd be able to make a play on it, possibly come home. Although none of that matters now as it is ruled a foul ball. And the count runs full. So Klenke also owning 3 runs scored, 9 RBIs so far, and has been really a run producer at the bottom of the order as another payoff pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside, ball 4. So Klenke able to work himself a full count walk, similar to the one that Josh Adams did to begin this inning, and McAfee running into a bit of trouble here with that command. Something we talked about in the pregame is now the newly returned pitching coach Joe Meggs will head back out to the mound. And the reason why I preface his name with that is because in game 1 he was ejected. In fact, I believe it was around this time, around the 4th inning, as he was unhappy with the strike zone of Ed Rye, although my guess is not going to be saying anything to him at this point tonight. Looks like he's got a word for his entire infield as they're drawn in, and now Ed Rye will go out and try and break up this little convo. Nonetheless, Joe Meggs was not allowed out last night, so instead of him going out to do the mound visits. As the pitching coach, it was Greg Merritt that had to fulfill that role. And now Meggs, not a single word to Ed Rye as he heads back to the dugout. And probably smart, as Rye certainly established himself in one way or another. You can take it in many different directions. But in the first game of the series, ejected either 3 or 4. I'm not sure. I would have to clarify. But I believe 3 or 4 Harbor Cats. Couple of coaches, as I think he even gave a warning and then ejected the head coach, Greg Merritt, in the 9th. That's what Michael Clark said because he was on the mound. As now Nick Snyder will come to the plate. First pitch on the way to him as a curveball misses low and outside, 1-0. Snyder already with somewhat of a mistake himself in the first inning that led to one of those 3 runs. Alcantara on a drop third strike as it passed to him, or rather a throw from the catcher Clanky that he missed. Ended up getting down the right field line away from him as he takes now ball 2 low. So Snyder, with 1 out, runners on the corners. An opportunity for him to possibly atone for that error as he now takes a fastball again low here, 3-0. No action down there yet in the Victoria bullpen. Although I wouldn't be surprised to see someone going to get up now, and it looks like there are a couple of arms heading down there. Nonetheless, 3-0 pitch on the way now here to Snyder. Fastball right down the hog of the plate. Actually surprised he was going to pull the trigger there. Nonetheless held up. And in fact, the only member of the Grey Wolves I've seen swing in a 3-0 count was Josh Adams. It did it twice in the last 2 days. Both unfortunately resulting in pop-outs. That's not the 3-1 pitch on the way. Check swing there. Takes the fastball outside. Did not go around. So back-to-back walks here of the bases. A total of 3 walks here in this inning. Josh Adams to eventually score on the RBI double from Sickafus. And now Clanky, the previous batter, he earned himself a 2-2 walk. Nick Snyder just earning himself a 5-pitch walk. 3-1 count is now there begins to be kind of an accelerated catch down the bullpen. Left-hander for Victoria starting to get hot. As Curtis Perrin will come to the plate. You got to imagine in this case whether McIntyre is throwing right-handers or left-handers. Perrin much different than the last 3 batters that McIntyre has faced and walked. At just 5'9" or 10, takes the ball 1 high and outside. It's going to be difficult to bring that down into the strike zone. Grey Wolves will take it any way they can in this situation. Certainly wouldn't have a problem with McIntyre walking the bases loaded, walking a run in. There's nowhere to put him. 1-0 pitch down the way from Perrin, and looked like he took something off that time. Maybe tried to just spot it up. Nonetheless, missed high again. Ball 2. Has not been ahead to any Grey Wolf hitter this inning. Went 3-2 to Adams, 2-0 to Smith, 1-0 to Sickafus before the double, 3-2 to Clanky, 3-1 to Snyder, and now 2-0 to Perrin as he sends a deep fly ball down the right field line, but is going to get foul. Perrin with home run distance nearly had himself a grand slam as he slaps his hand in his frustration going back to the plate. Just hooked it a bit too much, about 15-20 feet past the right field foul pole. As that'll be a long strike. I'm sure one that McIntyre will remember in this upcoming pitch. 330 down the right field line as well as the left field line. I'd say about 365, 370 to the left and right center field gaps, around 385, although plays a little larger out to center field. So now the 2-1 pitch on the way. Slapped over and off to the left side, foul out of play, as that'll be another free souvenir. And McIntyre getting back in this count has evened it up at 2-2. So a 3-2 ball game here at Osland Field. One that, again, seems to be moving a bit slower. That's kind of what happens when 2 juggernaut offenses, at least the way the Grey Wolves have been swinging the bat as of late. That's what happens when those 2 offenses collide. 2 patient teams able to work counts, make the opposing starter pitch a lot of pitches. As now this breaking ball misses off the plate outside, and the count runs full. So Perrin able to work himself now a 3-2 count. The 3rd one of the inning, the previous 2 not going in the way that Will McIntyre would have liked. And so now he's going to have to hump up right here. Perrin Walker base knock in this situation. Now ropes one over the right side, past the diving first baseman Matt Smith. That's going to score one. Here comes the runner on second base, Clanky. He's going to score easily. The throw coming into first base, and Curtis Perrin has delivered a 2 RBI single to right field, giving the Grey Wolves the lead now 4-3. So those extra bases coming back to bite McAfee as Clanky comes around to score along with Zickafoos, and deservedly so, as Zickafoos was the table setter essentially for this inning, bringing in Adams. And now with runners at the corners, it appears we are going to have a pitching change at Osland Field, as we'll take a quick break. Will McAfee's night is done. The Grey Wolves knock him out after just 3 1/3. So we'll take a pitching change break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Live. Again, I'm Evan Giddings as the Grey Wolves now have the lead 4-3.
Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
And so now we return to action after this pitching change. Will McAfee's evening is done. Goes 3 1/3, allows 5 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, as he surrenders 3 walks all in this inning and collects 3 strikeouts. Now giving way to the left-hander Jack Wolger, who will begin his appearance by picking off over to first base, but to no avail, unable to get the speedy Curtis Perrin over at first base. So Wolger into the ball game. Kind of a lanky-looking left-hander, 6'4", 195-pound freshman at UCLA, as he now fires a fastball that misses outside to Doherty, who steps at the plate 1-0. Or rather, California Berkeley. So another Golden Bear, teammates with Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. I believe I misread. It was Jerron Silva, the UCLA Bruin, as now Doherty will pop this one up down the left field line, giving chase is a left fielder there, Polshuk, but to no avail as it gets into the bullpen, out of play, strike 1. Making his 6th appearance. Has started in 3 games, however, and 1 went well, the other 2 not so much, as he owns a 1-2 record. 14 2/3 innings pitched and a 7.36 ERA is now the curveball on the way here from the left-hander Wolger, in for a strike, 1-2. Originally from Folsom, California, so a NorCal kid all the way, as he now is in the stretch. Couple looks over to first base, now the pickoff attempt. No tag there by the first baseman Smith, as Perrin is back in time. He's also struck out 7 batters, allowed 5 walks. And we talked about those 3 starts and how one of them was good. Came back against Wenatchee on the 28th. Went 6 innings, allowed 3 runs, but only 1 of them earned. only surrendering 3 hits while striking out 2 and getting his first victories. Now this one swung on and missed there by Doherty. A big looping curveball there as Wolford is able to get his man there in a big strikeout in this situation. Now 2 outs are the runners on the corners for the Grey Wolves, and Jack Johnson will step to the plate. As for Wolger's other 2 starts, one went okay against Cowlitz, his very first start of the season on June 18th. Went 3 2/3, did allow 3 earned runs, but only allowed 2 hits. However, his last start, which was in fact his most recent appearance on July 10th against the Ben Elks, simply did not go his way. And that was the only loss up until the Grey Wolves got the W on Tuesday night. The only loss of the second half at that point, as he now misses outside from an off-speed pitch here to Johnson, 1-0. In fact, I believe that game against Ben was the game that did, in fact, break the streak of the 19 in a row for Victoria, as he could only muster an inning and 2/3, allowed 7 earned runs on 6 hits and 2 walks against the Elks, who ended up putting 15 runs up on the board that game. Got the victory 15-8, as now Johnson takes a fastball off the plate outside, as well as a bit high there, 2-0. So maybe some inconsistency early in this season for Wolger, and Grey Wolves fans have certainly experienced that on our end, although we've been looking to pick it up so far here in the second half. And now Jack Johnson takes another ball inside, 3-0. So after getting the strikeout to Doherty, unable to find the strike zone here against Johnson. And a dangerous hitter, the University of Washington product, as he now takes a 3-0 fastball right down the middle of the plate. Didn't necessarily expect him to be swinging on that pitch, but you never can quite tell, especially early in this ball game. The Grey Wolves have plated 3 in this frame, as they now have the lead 4-3 on 4 base hits. As now the 3-1 pitch on the way, and it is taken inside for ball 4. So a total of 4 walks handed out in this inning, 3 by the starter McAfee, and in fact those were the only 3 walks he had all night. And 2 of those ended up coming around to score. The other one from Connor Zickafoos, who worked an RBI double off the left center field wall before eventually coming in to score on the Perrin single. However, now Mark Cardinale will step to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 outs. He's the 9th batter of this inning. The man on deck, Josh Adams, was the one who led it off with the full count walk. As the first pitch on the way to Cardinale is a changeup that misses low in the dirt, blocked by Pryor, ball 1. And it looks like Benavides re-stretching down there in the bullpen, just trying to get a couple of pitches and trying to stay warm at this point, as we see him with the sweatshirt on playing catch. And now the 1-0, again another changeup that misses outside here, 2-0. And so now it looks like we're going to have some frustration there in the dugout from the head coach, Greg Merritt. Just picked up the bucket he was sitting on and threw it into the dugout. As it appears he will not be going out to talk to his pitcher, Pryor, the one that has to go and deliver the harsh words in some fashion. And nonetheless, Merritt, we've seen plenty of emotions and extroverted personalities from the Victoria Harbor Cats so far this season, as Cardinale sends a soft and sinking line drive into left center field. That's going to drop. One run will score. They're going to send Perrin. The throw not even there, as he will score, but they got Jack Johnson picked off at second base. Now in a rundown as the throw goes to the third baseman, Plushgale. Back to Anderchuk at second base, as they will get the out, but not before another 2 runs come across. Snyder and Perrin, as the Grey Wolves put up 5 in that inning, and now have the lead 6-3 as we enter the 5th. Coming up for Victoria will be the top of the orders. They have a lot of work to do now. The Grey Wolves have the lead, and we take a break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Live, 6-3 in favor of your Grey Wolves.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
And so now as we get ready to go to the fifth here at Austin Field, the Grey Wolves found themselves in a situation last night where they left 13 men on base, and in that inning of the fourth, I mean, it absolutely turned things around. Not only found a way to get these runners in with less than 2 outs, but also a 2-out RBI single delivered by Mark Cardinale to end that fourth inning, unfortunately, as Jack Johnson was out on a back pick by the left fielder for Victoria. That was Polshuk throwing it in, and then it was an interesting, I believe it was a 6-5-4 put out at second base that ended the rally. But nonetheless, the Grey Wolves able to place 5 up on the board there in the bottom of the fourth. They have reclaimed the lead here for Gabe Benavides, back out on the mound for his 5th inning of work. And the first batter he will face will be the top of the order, and Matt Lautz, as he now shows bunt but misses way outside there with a fastball, as Lautz will pull it back for the first ball of the at-bat. And Lautz has struggled a bit here in this series. These last couple of games, not hitting too well. Just .278 as his averages dip down to around .317. And now a long pause here, but finally resumed as Benavides has his sign. Kicks and fires a fastball, almost the identical placement, way off the edge to the outside portion of the plate. As Victoria trying to get it up in the dugout, Benavides hopefully able to quiet that dugout that has been so loud and vocal throughout this entire series. 2-0 pitch on the way, in for a strike here, 2-1. A good job there by Benavides to quiet the crowd, also get himself back in this at-bat with the top of the order. This is where they were able to do their damage in the first inning with Matt Lautz leading it off. He got a single as now Benavides misses high and outside again, 3-1. Got a single in the first, advanced to second on a pass ball, and then after a drop third strike by Alcantara, who's the third batter of the game, the catcher, Ben Klenke, threw it over to first base, and Nick Snyder simply just dropped it at that point, kicked off his glove into right field, allowed a runner to come aboard as well as Matt Lautz to score as he now sends a 2-hopper right to the shortstop, Doherty. He collects it, will fire it on to first base in time, and there's one away. Looks like a changeup that time from Benavides, and a nice spot for in a 3-1 count. Lautz looking for something over the heart of the plate and something hard in particular. But Benavides was able to change speeds on him and draw him into a 6-3 putout. So now Anderchuk will come to the plate. Number 21 for the Harbor Cats. Saw him last night in his first appearance of the series. Went 0 for 3, although did have 2 RBIs as he now takes ball 1 outside. Anderchuk batting .316 coming into play. Also did work a walk last night, as I believe those 2 RBIs came from multiple sacrifice flies, as he now takes a strike on the outside edge for evening the count at 1-1. And in fact, in this last week has played in all 7 games, so in fact did get the start in game 1 of the series. It was confusing him for Cameron Cannon, who played in game 1, did not come in game 2, as well as not being seen tonight, as now Anderchuk takes a changeup on the outside edge for strike 2. 7 hits in his last 23 at-bats, 4 RBIs, 4 walks earned, as he now takes a fastball just inside there. A nice frame by Klenke. Thought he might have had strike 3, nonetheless evens it up. 2-2 the count. As there's 1 out. A.J. Alcantara waiting on deck. So now Benavides, that high leg kick from the left side, kicks and fires. Changeup, draws a ground ball. Another 2-hopper over to the middle of the infield, picked up by Doherty on the forehand and goes to first base across the diamond in time. So a couple of 6-3 putouts after a couple of nice off-speed pitches induces those ground balls from Benavides. And there's quickly 2 away here in the 5th with A.J. Alcantara, coming to the plate. At a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th, and now a chance to do the same here in the 5th. Although misses here with a fastball to Alcantara low, ball 1. Alcantara 0 for 2, although has scored a run and was able to reach base on that error from Snyder back in the first, as now he takes ball 2, a fastball low in the dirt, 2-0. Also flew out to center field to begin the third inning. Kind of a nice over-the-shoulder basket catch there by Ryan Smith, one we've become so accustomed to, as now Benavides misses the slider upstairs, 3-0 here to Alcantara. And if there's something you don't want to allow the Harbor Cats to do is to give them extra bases, or free bases in this case, especially with a 3-0 pitch coming up, as Benavides understanding how important this pitch is. We'll take a quick breather and walk around the mound. Now re-toes it from the middle of the rubber, as he'll have to refocus up here in the 3-0 count. Pitch on the way, and this fastball misses outside. A 4-pitch walk here from Benavides issued to A.J. Alcantara. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's the first walk of the night for Benavides. Looking through my scorecard here, and that is in fact the first base on balls dished out by the left-hander. So far tonight, the command's been there. Especially even when he's behind in the count, it seems like he's been able to induce weak contact as Joe Pryor will step to the plate. And this has really been the one man throughout this order that has given Benavides trouble. 2 for 2 so far with a single, as well as a 2-run home run out to left center field that came back in the first. As Benavides tries the off-speed pitch over the outside corner, but can't quite get the calls. It goes 1-0. Pryor with his second home run this week. 5 RBIs, make that 6 and 7 now, as he also has a double, hitting .375 in this second half. Now the second pitch on the way, fastball misses low, and Klinke will take a quick pause as Benavides seems a bit frustrated. Will toss that ball back in the dugout. Something about that leather he didn't like. Either way, he's going to have to mix it up here as he's tossed 6 in a row after getting the first 2 outs of this inning. That's something that can be especially frustrating when you're out there on the bump, able to get the first 2 outs of the inning and then just can't quite seem to find the strike zone. Not like you're trying to throw balls, obviously not like you're trying to nip the corners, but Benavides has had trouble getting in that Ed Rice strike zone nonetheless. See if he can do it here on the 2-0. This one belted out to right center field. Giving chase, though, is Adams. He'll now Sendel under it and able to make the catch for the third out. A nice piece there by Pryor, but Adams was shading him towards right center field, able to range back and make the play as we go to the bottom of the 5th here at Osland Field. That right fielder man, Adams, he'll come to the plate along with Ryan Smith and Connor Zickafus when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Live. I'm Evan Giddings, and the Grey Wolves have the lead, 6-3.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so we're just about set to go here in this bottom of the 5th with the Grey Wolves coming to the plate. It'll be 4-5-6. In fact, the leadoff hitters that began the 4th inning in that 5-run rally for Gresham certainly wouldn't be opposed to another 5 spot here in this inning, as they'll try and put something together with Adams, Smith, and Zickafus all coming to the plate. In the bottom of the 4th, it was Adams that led it off in a full count, got the walk, and then Zickafus doubled him in all the way from first base out to left center field on that RBI hit. And after back-to-back walks there from Klinke and Snyder, Perrin delivered a 2 RBI single to plate the last 2 runs, rather the 2 out of the 3. And then Cardinale coming to the plate with the bases loaded later in that inning with 2 outs, delivered another 2 RBI single for Gresham. As Adams will come to the plate here. First pitch swinging, pops one up over to the right side near the dugout of Victoria, but will get out of play here and actually out onto the street there, so quite far away from the field of play for strike 1. Jack Wolger back out of the bump as he was able to collect the last 2 outs of that inning. All 5 of those runs all tagged to McCaffer. Although only one of them earned, or rather 5 of them earned, so only one of them unearned, is now Adams left to spin out of the way of that one. Called for ball 1. Fastball up and tight. So he'll take a quick breather out of that one. Call that chin music, as Wolger, not exactly sure if he meant to throw it there, but nonetheless has certainly got the attention of Josh Adams. So now he'll step back in the box, and the 1-1 on the way. Fastball high and outside, 2 balls and a strike. As Adams is 0 for 1. In addition to that walk and run scored, also struck out back in the first swinging. So able to get hit somewhat of his revenge back on McCaffer, working that walk and eventually come around to give the Grey Wolves at the time their second run as Hanio ropes one into right field. Line drive base hit that gets down right in front of the right fielder Alcantara. He'll have to play it in as that one was stung right there by Josh Adams, and he collects his first hit of the evening. A leadoff single there to begin this bottom of the 5th for the Grey Wolves. And a good sign now with Ryan Smith coming to the plate, who by the averages is essentially due. 0 for 2. As he's got a pop out and a strikeout, but batting nearly .320 this season. I believe .319 exactly. So he's also got the team lead in the hit category. 3 more at-bats than Mitchell Jr. Those guys have been essentially competing at this point in many offensive categories. He now takes a ball outside 1-0, and as they should, as the 2 all-stars for the Gresham Grey Wolves. I'm sure there's got to be some friendly competition going on there. Although Smith does have 3 more starts now, make it 4 as he lays down a drag bunt down the third base line. Nowhere that he can go with it. Plushkill apparently did not even think about the possibility of Smith laying one down as he steals a base hit that time. An infield single of the bunt variety there for Ryan Smith. And now with runners on second and first and Connor Zickafoos coming to the plate with nobody out, the catcher Joe Pry will have to go out and talk to his pitcher Wolger, because the Grey Wolves, after clawing their way back into this game a little bit at a time, exploding in the 4th, and now an opportunity here in the 5th. So that is now the 6th hit of the ball game for Gresham. 6-5 as they hold the lead in both of those categories, hits and runs, as they hold a 3-run advantage, 6-3. And after a long pause out of the box here from Zickafoos, probably just picking up signs there from the third base coach as well as head coach Justin Barkas. There should be nobody out there up on the scoreboard. And now officially corrected as a clear sacrifice situation here from Zickafoos. Although swinging, ground ball over to the right side, picked up by Matt Smith. He'll go to second base and throws it into left field. That'll allow Josh Adams to score. The runner on second base, Smith, going all the way to third base. He's going to be safe, and they cannot collect it out. Victoria trying to turn a 3-6-3 double play. However, it goes all wrong there. And an error from the first baseman, Smith, allows a runner to come across in Josh Adams and Smith to go up to third. So essentially, instead of even getting one out there, Victoria shoots himself in the foot as they release a run. And now still with nobody out, runners at the corners. So essentially, I believe it'll be ruled a fielder's choice for Zickafoos, as Matt Smith elected to go to second base. So Smith is safe there on the E3 as the first pitch on the way here now to Ben Klenke misses outside for ball 1. And Adams comes in to score on the error. Victoria, a team that has not allowed not only very many physical errors, but also not too many mental errors, at least in this series so far, as now this pitch misses low and away here, 2-0 to Klenke. However, along with this error that could prove pivotal moving forward in this ballgame, along with this one, also the first game of the series, a ground ball in the 4th inning to the right side. I believe the second baseman, Cameron Cannon. Let me check here. In fact, yes, was Cameron Cannon. A ground ball that tipped off his glove into right field, allowed 2 runs to come across for Gresham, which proved to be just enough as they won it, and eventually 9-8, as now Ben Klenke takes ball 3 high and outside. So Wolger, who we understood coming into the game, talked about his inconsistencies, and maybe the Harbor Cats haven't seen the best of Jack Wolger tonight. Hasn't gotten a ton of help from his defense, but now surrenders a 4-pitch walk here to Ben Klenke as he misses with a fastball high around the letters. So that will officially load the bases for Gresham with nobody out and Nick Snyder coming to the plate. With that run scoring They now extend their lead 7-3 as, again, some kind of rushed pitching going down in there in the bullpen, some warming up for a right-hander. Can't quite see his number, as Wolger has himself quite a heap of trouble. Nick Snyder looking to add on to it, as the large, lumbering right-hander will step in the box. And first pitch on the way to him. Fly ball high into center field. Carrying back is Matt Louts into more now right center field. That will certainly score the runner Smith from third base. He'll come in on the sacrifice fly. Zicklefus will have to hold at second. But nonetheless, the Gray Wolves extend their lead 8-3 now off the sacrifice fly there from Nick Snyder. So an excellent piece of team hitting there from Snyder. Not getting selfish in that situation. He's already walked and scored this evening and now able to deliver with a sacrifice fly, as they have now plated two, taking advantage of that error, and with Curtis Perrin coming to the plate with one out. So Zicklefus on second, Clanky on first. As a first pitch on the way to Perrin. First pitch swinging, pops it up. Going to be play over there on the left side for the shortstop. Jew ranging in now to shallow left field will make the catch for the second out. As Perrin certainly frustrated himself, shaking his head as he goes back to the dugout. And an unproductive out there for the normally sure batted in this situation, Gresham Gray Wolf, Curtis Perrin, the second baseman.
Shortstop number 2, Dylan Doherty.
So now Doherty will step to the plate. He's 1 for 3. Strikeout, flyout, and a single to begin that third inning. Unfortunately was erased after a double play ball from the man on deck, Jack Johnson. And now with 2 outs, will be tasked with bringing another insurance run in, hopefully on second base, as he fights this one off over to the left side of foul territory, strike 1. So already 4 at-bats for Doherty through just 5 innings. As the Gray Wolves have done a great job of not only working the counts and being patient at the plate, but putting quality at-bats together in successive fashion. As this one, a slow grounder up the middle. It's going to be the second baseman, flip to second base just in time there. Anderchuk to Jew at second covering, is able to record the third out of the inning, but not before the Gray Wolves again strike for 2 more. A total of 7 here in these last 2 innings, 5 in the 4th, now 2 in the 5th, as we head to the 6th here at Osland Field. Ben Polshuk, Tommy Jew, and Brad Plushgeld coming up when we return here on Gresham Gray Wolves Live. They have it now, 8-3.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
And so now we go to the 6th here at Osland Field on the campus of Mount Hood Community College. Evan Giddings bringing you Gresham Gray Wolves baseball live here, as the Gray Wolves have an 8-3 lead over the Victoria Harbor Cats. Now the Harbor Cats coming into this series 25-5, and 3 of those losses came to begin the season. So essentially, the last 27, 25-2, a very impressive mark, highlighted by a 19-game winning streak, and the Gray Wolves are looking right now at this point to deliver the second series loss of the season to Victoria. Up 5 runs here to begin the 6th inning as Gabe Benavides is back out on the mound for his 6th inning of work. And ever since that first inning, where he gave up the 3 runs that the Harbor Cats have right now, I mean, he's been shut down. 5 zeros put up in a row, or rather looking for a 5th zero, as up until the walk he surrendered to A.J. Alcantara with 2 outs in the top of the 5th, have retired 6 in a row. And so now, with Polshuk coming to the plate, one of the hotter hitters for Victoria, another challenge for Benavides at the start of this inning. Left-hander looking dialed in, a deep breath at the top. Now kicks and fires as this fastball just misses off the plate outside, 1-0. Ed Rye, maybe the strike zone expanding a little bit tonight. Certainly was not giving anything off the plate in the first game of this series, as the second pitch now on the way. This one not even close to the strike zone, high as well as outside 2-0. But it also looks like this teams have essentially adjusted to his strike zone, whether it be the manager, Greg Merritt, or head coach, I should say, Greg Merritt, as Benavides bends in a curveball for a strike on the inside part of the plate, 2-1. Greg Merritt is essentially done with talking to Ed Rye, the home plate umpire, which is something we're very happy about, as he now misses with a changeup here. Does Benavides low and inside there to run the count 3-1, and now it's Barkis's turn. Actually, it looked like Ian Sanderson, the pitching coach, asked where that pitch missed, because the height looked fine. As Rye pointed, it just missed a tad bit off the plate. So the 3-1 here, fastball misses low. As Benavides a bit frustrated, not only with himself but that strike zone, as now he'll officially get a response there from Ed Rye of nothing. He asked if that pitch was down, and Ed Rye didn't even respond to him, just goes and dusts off the plate. So maybe that's his way of telling Benavides that that pitch was down. Nonetheless, hopefully the GCU left-hander does not let this umpire get in his head at all, because Victoria definitely not down and out, not a team that's going to shy away from any type of lead. They've had a couple of comebacks themselves over the 19-game winning streak. You simply have to in order to maintain such a near immaculate type of win streak. Is now the first pitch on the way to Jew, misses low in the dirt, ball 1. So you don't want to let the strike zone kind of be in the back of your mind when you're pitching against such a potent offense that at any time, as we've seen throughout this series, can put up 4 or 5 runs in one inning. Second pitch on the way, fastball catches the outside edge. That one not necessarily framed as well by Klinke, but nonetheless gets the call there. So a good sign for Benavides. Getting back in the strike zone is Tommy Jews at the plate. Jews 0 for 2, strikeout and a flyout. As he, along with Polshuk, up until Polshuk walked, with the only members not to reach base, as now he reaches for this one and taps it off back off the screen for strike 2. Brad Plushkill waiting on deck. Behind him, Matt Smith, and after that, Ryan Anderson, all of which have reached base in some fashion, although Anderson is 0 for 2 as he was aboard on a fielder's choice. Nonetheless, just 6 hits, in fact, 6 hits surrendered by Benavides tonight. So he's done a good job at scattering those, as he now throws a fastball on the dirt, blocked by Klinke. Very nice play there made by the backstop for Gresham, able to keep that ball in front of him and keep Polshuk on first base. We've already seen 1 pass ball as well as 2 wild pitches, each in succession during the at-bat to Joe Pryor back in the 3rd inning, or rather the at-bat to Polshuk back in the 3rd, allow Pryor to get to 2nd as well as 3rd. Nonetheless, 2-2 on the way as pickoff attempt over to first base. No tag there by Snyder, as Polshuk's got himself a pretty big lead over there. A somewhat big frame, about 6'4", 200 pounds for Polshuk, the left fielder, but obviously can run, as he swiped the bag last night. 7 on the season, as now Juice sprays this one off and towards the right side, out beyond the bullpen there for the Harbor Cats, and count remains 2-2. So we have ourselves an 8-3 ball game here at Osland Field. The Grey Wolves with the advantage in the run as well as the hits column. Hold a 5-run advantage in the runs area, and a 2-run hit advantage, 8-6. Each team has surrendered 1 error, both of which have been a little costly. Alcantara reached on an error in the 1st inning that allowed 1 run to come across, and eventually Alcantara as well. So now Benavides has his sign. Comes set, the 2-2 pitch on the way. Chased in the dirt, picked up by Klinke as he kept it in front very nicely. A changeup right there from Benavides has been the go-to pitch here tonight. Able to strike out Jew for the first out, and most importantly, keep that runner on first base with Brad Plushkill coming to the plate. So Plushkill, he's 1 for 2. Singled back in the 2nd. Grounded out in the 4th. Was a part of that 3 men being on base, or rather 2 being on base, left on base by Benavides back in the 2nd. as Benavides will now hopefully try and induce a double play ball here with one out. First pitch on the way, snap throw back to first, not nearly in time as the runner there, Polshek, is back in safely. Didn't even need a slide. Nonetheless, the ball ran high, so 1-0. Plushgill in this last week, only batting .063 through his 16 at-bats. He's on a bit of a cold streak, only 1 for 16 to start this second half. He now swings through a fastball high. Might have gone a bit upstairs to chase that one. Nonetheless, 1-1 evened up here by Benavides. 4 strikeouts throughout this slump here for Plushgill. So him, along with Polshuk, have kind of been struggling to begin this second half of the season. Polshuk, however, only has played in 3 games, now 4, if you count tonight. And Plushgill has played in all 7 games to begin this second half, having only achieved 1 hit. It's now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Change up in the dirt there, blocked by Klenke, kept it in front again. And so after allowing a couple of wild pitches back in the third, it seems like Klenke is settled in. In fact, all we're starting to hear is Clanks coming from behind home plate as he keeps that ball in front. And so now Plushgill will step back in, the 2-1 count, with Matt Smith waiting on deck. Benavides, long look in, now has his sign. Runner takes his lead from first. Another changeup check swing, and no appeal there from Klenke. It looks like he's going to ask the field umpire Colin Price, but a little too late, as he will say he did not go around. And that one did seem pretty close. I would have bet if Klenke had immediately went to the field umpire, at the very least would have gotten a true call, as many of the times if you ask in a delayed fashion, whoever you're asking, whether it be the first or third base umpire, depending on a 2 or 3 man crew, as this one is soft line drive into right field. That's going to drop right over the head of Perrin. Adams will pick it up in right field, now bobbles with it, but nonetheless allows Polshuk to be held at second base. Getting that ball back in as Plushgill has himself a base knock, his second of the evening. So maybe that pitch, turning the at-bat around instead of a 2-2, now a 3-1. Plushgill is able to take the bat off his shoulders, put a nice swing on it as he sort of fisted it into right field. And nonetheless, Matt Smith now will come to the plate. He's also 1 for 2. Also had a stolen base, was a part of that double steal back in the second where he put himself as well as Ryan Anderson on second and third before Benavides left them stranded. Okay, so in fact, actually a pinch hitter now, Jake Stone, number 17, hitting in the place of Matt Smith. So maybe Greg Merritt didn't like the righty-on-lefty matchup, instead opts for the lefty-lefty. We'll see if that benefits one side or the other. So now having faced Stone for the first time this evening, we'll see how Benavides attacks him. Long peer back to second base. Polshek dancing a bit. Now a quick jump turn, but no throw as Polshek will head back to second. And Benavides paying a lot of attention there to Polshek. Of course, he can run, and we've already seen one double steal tonight. Although my guess is with a lefty up and a free lane, a free throwing lane from home plate to third base, Klenke's going to have an easier time making that toss. And Polshek would have to be absolutely certain that he's going to swipe that base, especially with one out. Don't want to take yourself out of this situation. Especially with one out, a little more room to work with and a pinch hitter up. Don't want to take him out of his at-bat either. So now Benavides collects his sign from the catcher. First pitch on the way, fastball check swing. Doesn't matter, called for a strike on the outside edge, 0-1. Like Ed Rye might have slid the strike zone out there a little bit. Couple balls off the plate towards the right-handed batter's box. And Benavides will certainly take it, as it looks like there's some action beginning to brew down in the Grey Wolves bullpen. The left-hander, number 11, Carter Book, beginning to throw. Actually, we had a nice chat with him last night as Book came up in the booth, as this one misses inside for ball 1. And so Book, along with Michael Clark, have kind of been our guests in the second inning, as hopefully this can become a recurring thing. Of course, I have to go down and talk to head coach Justin Barkas along with the pitching coach Ian Sanderson before every game to see which pitchers not only are available but will be willing to come up here and spend an inning of their time with me talking to you guys. Is this one a ground ball over the right side, fielded by Perrin. His only play is at first base, and it cannot be by Nick Snyder. He goes down for it. It looked like he originally picked it, but the ball squirted out of his glove at the last second, and it is, in fact, ruled an A4. The throw was a bit downstairs there from Curtis Perrin, although likely a play that you got to think that should have been made there by the first baseman, Nick Snyder. Unfortunately, the error can't go against him as the throw was low, but he would have liked to have seen a better effort there from Snyder to be able to go down and get that ball. Looked like he was kind of expecting an easy toss. And in fact, a similar situation last night where Perrin made a similar play. The first baseman, Drew Curtis, unable to pick that one as well. So sort of some, either whether it be miscommunication or Perrin unable to make that throw out from the edge of the right field grass, will load the bases here for the designated hitter, Ryan Anderson. First pitch on the way to him is a fastball that misses outside and low. And the Gray Wolves so many times have, especially in this series, not helped themselves out by not making certain defensive plays. At the very least, could have got one out there, made it 2 outs with an opportunity to strand these runners. But now with 1 out, it'll be up to Anderson as he fights this one off to the right side of the field, 1-1. So now the second error this evening for Gresham. The first one ended up resulting in 1 run for the Harbor Cats. And hopefully for Gresham, this one does not come back to bite them. As it appears like also number 15, Jeremy Smith. Maybe not number 15, but nonetheless it looked like Jeremy Smith, the right-hander down there in the bullpen, also throwing with Book. So now the 1-1 pitch here on the way to Anderson as Benavides kicks and fires and taps this one off to the right side, back near the screen, near 1-2. Benavides trying to get in on the hands of these Harbor Cat hitters. Has done a good job so far. Has only given up 1 hit this inning. Walked Polshuk in a 3-1 count, then struck out Jew in a 2-2. Gave up a fisting single out to right field by Plushkel. Was not hard contact by any means. And then, of course, the E4 there from Curtis Perrin allowed Jake Stone to reach first base. So Polshuk at third, Plushkel at second, and Stone at first. As the 1-2 pitch on the way from Benavides, a changeup, got him out front, popped it up into center field. Now drifting towards right center is Ryan Smith. He'll pick it. They're going to test him. Throw coming into home plate, and he is out at the plate. Nobody drops it. The ball came out of Klinke's glove, and now the runner trying to go home. Backhand flip from Benavides to home plate. He's safe at. Oh, and a couple of runs score here from Victoria Harbor Cats on a confusing and frustrating play there for the Gresham Gray Wolves. Plushkel comes to score all the way around from second as he advanced on the throw from Smith. Polshek scores straight up on the sacrifice fly as it looked like Klinke had the ball in his glove. It was a tremendous throw there from Ryan Smith out in center field. The throw was in time, but the collision between Polshuk on the foot first slide as well as the catcher Klinke allowed the ball to come out, and so Ryan Anderson officially with a sacrifice fly, and Polshuk will score on the throw. And I'm not sure who that error is going to be given to. We'll officially sort this one out. And we'll wait just a moment for the official scoring. I'm thinking the catcher here, and that is likely going to be the call. So an E2 on Ben Klinke as the ball ended up coming out of his glove, and not necessarily a fault being handed out to Klinke, but unfortunately just no other place you can put the blame in that situation. As Ian Sanderson made his way out during this situation. We're trying to figure out how to officially score this play up here in the booth, I think, and has officially been recorded. But nonetheless, 2 errors in this inning have resulted in 2 runs for the Harbor Cats as they now draw within 3, 5-8. They trail. And with 2 outs, another opportunity with a runner on third base to try and bring it within 2 runs. Matt Loud's coming to the plate. Benavides back in the windup. Will kick and fire as a fastball misses outside here. 1-0. And that would have been a huge play for the Gray Wolves should Klinke have held on to that ball. Just unfortunate it came out. It did look like he had 2 hands on it, which is the way that catchers are taught to receive throws coming to home plate, especially with a plate at the plate as Benavides spots a fastball on the inside edge, 1-1. Unfortunately, whether it be the direction of the kick that came in from Polshuk, or excuse me, not the kick, but the slide, it was foot first and went right into the glove. Popped that ball out as now a slider misses low and in. 2 balls and a strike here to Matt Lautz. And should that have made that play, that would have been a huge momentum builder at this point to not only achieve the shutout inning after having scored 7 in the last 2, but also, I mean, just riding the weight of momentum from such a great and stellar defensive play there from Ryan Smith. That man's got a hose out there in center field. Threw that ball without even a hop, as now Louts will reach and foul this one off over to the right, out beyond the bullpen of Victoria, where they now have another right-hander throwing. And it appears to be number 45. That's the guess at this point. So it looks like Cameron Schneider, the 6'7" right-hander from Concord, California. Officially a Cal Poly Pomona Bronco. As now Greg Merritt will go out and have a word with his batter Louts, as well as the home plate umpire Ed Rye. Possibly Louts not feeling okay at the plate. Something possibly to do with his hands, as now he's taking a quick practice swing. Was shaking off that right hand a bit, so he'll appear to be okay and good to go as Merritt will head back towards the dugout. Ed Rye has resumed his position behind home plate. After a couple of swings, it appears that Matt Louts is just about ready to step in the batter's box. And the way he was flexing his right arm, it appeared to be not necessarily a hand, but a wrist type of injury, although not keeping him from getting back in this at-bat. So a 2-2 count here as Benavides now fires, and this fastball, again, fouled off over to the right, out of play. We'll keep it here 2-2. So the score now 8-5 here in this top of the 6th inning. Plenty of action here at Oslam Field throughout the entirety of the series, but especially tonight in a hard-fought rubber match. These teams not willing to relinquish anything on either side. Both Victoria and Gresham fighting so hard. I mean, this seems like a series that should be a playoff type of game, as this one popped up, changeup got him out front. Over the shortstop side, incoming Doherty onto the infield, and he will make the catch. Sort of drifted a bit back out into left field, but eventually was able to recover and make the catch. As Victoria plates 2, but Benavides strands another runner in scoring position, leaving one more on third base as we head to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Johnson, Cardinelli, and Adams. 2, 3, 4 due up when we return here on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live. The lead has shrunk, but it still remains 8-5 in favor of Gresham.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Gray Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Gray Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Gray Wolves will be a howlin' time.
Yeah, so now we come back to you here in the bottom of the 6th inning here at Osland Field, where the Gresham Gray Wolves hold an 8-5 lead over the Victoria Harbor Cats in the third game of this rubber match. And now it appears that at the beginning of this inning, the left-hander, whose name escapes me, Jack Wolger, apparently will have appeared to throw his last pitch. So Greg Merritt waiting till he finishes his warm-up pitches to then take him out of the ball game. And I apologize to the fans, as we're going to have to take another break here on Gresham Gray Wolves Live after this pitching change. Exit Jack Wolger. It appears to be number 45. And that will be the tall right-hander Cameron Schneider in. So we'll take a break here on Gresham Gray Wolves Live. Please stay with us as the Gray Wolves have the lead here, 8-5.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, Fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Gray Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
And so as we return here from a pitching change, it appears that there's been a stall in play. So the right-hander Cameron Schneider has come in for Jack Wolger, and officially I believe that Wolger was set to begin the inning. And the way that this works is that, according to the umpires, we're getting official word now. Our guy Josh Hauser, as well as Connor Pelton, out there talking to the field umpire, Colin Price, I believe. But according to Price, at least from his motion down there on the field, this game is being played under protest currently at this moment. We're not sure by which team, although I would imagine by the Grey Wolves, because the substitution or pitching change made by Greg Merritt is, according to the book, I believe illegal. And the reason for that is being once you have a pitcher in the ball game in the form of Jack Wolger, in this situation, the left-hander, he was out there throwing his warm-up pitches, and the inning was set to begin. And I believe once you have declared a pitcher in for that inning, they must, in fact, throw at least one pitch to a batter. However, Merritt did not do that, chose to go and do his pitching change, so he brought in the right-hander Cameron Schneider. And so at this point, Schneider's out there warming up on the mound. Barkis is out there talking to the home plate umpire, and I'm not sure where Colin Price is at this time. I believe he's up here in the left bleachers area, right behind the dugout of the Grey Wolves, as we apologize for the pause as well as the confusion on my part. I'm just not quite sure what's going on at this point. And we're trying to get word here, not exactly sure at this point. So okay, so the game is in fact being played under protest for the reasons I believed. So the official rule is that once you cross the chalk onto the field of play, which Jack Wolger did, you officially are set and slated to begin that inning. You have to throw at least one pitch to the first bat of the inning, but Merritt made the pitching change. Now Schneider's out there, and Bark is officially playing this game under protest. So we'll see what comes of this. I'm not quite sure if the game can be forfeited at this point. 8-3 currently is the lead, or the score. So at this point, if this game was to be called, the Grey Wolves would get the victory. Although I'm not sure if they can officially do that at this point. Again, just the bottom of the sixth with the Grey Wolves coming to the plate. At this point, it would be 2-3-4, and Jack Johnson, Mark Cardinelli, and Josh Adams that would be due up to face at this point Schneider. But not exactly sure what we're going to be doing in this situation because no team is out of the dugout at this point. Barkis is still talking to the home plate umpire, Ed Rye. And the other umpire, the field umpire, in fact, is not out in the bleachers. He went back to his car to get the official umpire's book to figure out the official ruling and what should be made of this situation. So we hope you'll stay with us as we're going to take another couple of minute break here. We'll come back to you, and hopefully we'll have some news delivered on the situation. If not, we'll certainly make sure to update it for you here as we take another break on Gresham Grey Wolves Live. We have a stoppage of play here and possibly a game under protest from the side of the Gresham Grey Wolves to the Victoria Harbor Cats. I'm Evan Giddings. Don't go anywhere.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
And so it appears we have an update for you. Nothing official yet, as there is still a stoppage of play here at Austin Field between the Gresham Grey Wolves and the Victoria Harbor Cats after, I guess, an illegal pitching change was apparently made by the Harbor Cat head coach Greg Merritt, because the left-hander Jake Wolger came out for his warm-up pitches, and apparently the rule is, at least according to NCAA rules, which is what we're basing this off of. I don't believe the West Coast League has their own official rule book. So we're going off of NCAA official ruling, and apparently the rule is once you step onto the field of play between the lines, between the chalk, then you must at least pitch to one batter. So the previous report of only making one pitch to a batter, according to the NCAA, is not true. So you have to throw to a full batter in this case, which Jack Wolger did not do because he was subbed out, taken out of this ball game by the head coach Merritt. So Cameron Schneider is coming in, the righty. So it was 6'7" right-hander, very large and in charge, at least out there on the field. He's currently playing catch with a couple of his teammates. As at this point, everyone is essentially horsing around. We even have some kids down there on the field. Nonetheless, Colin Price is currently in the process of looking for the official ruling out there in the parking lot, so we don't know where he's at this point. Ed Rye, the home plate umpire, is down here on the field talking to a Grey Wolves player. I believe that's Benavides. And we got a grouping between Ian Sanderson, the pitching coach, Josh Adams, and a couple of Victoria players, I believe all buddies, as well as Michael Pena, the first base coach, now walking back over to the Grey Wolves side to try and figure out what's going on here, as we all. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on at this point. I would assume that if this game was being played under protest, generally the rule is with the protest is that you continue to play the game. And then after the game has concluded, no matter the score, you mark at which point you wanted to protest this game. At this point, it would be the bottom of the sixth, nobody out, so the start of the bottom of the inning. And at this point, generally, you play the rest of the game, the remainder of the game, as it would be coached. So Schneider would be allowed to come in. And this is the way that I've understood the rule up until this point. You play the rest of the game, then afterwards the league comes and reviews it. If they determine that the protest was in fact valid and that whatever play, substitution, move made by the external factors not having to do with the actual baseball game in terms of plays, then at that point they can make a ruling whether it should be played under protest or not, to which then the protest allows the game to be resumed at the point at which it was protested. So we're a little bit confused up here in the booth into this point as to why the game is not being continued to being played. Because right now we just have a stoppage of play. Barkis went down to the home plate umpire Ed Rye, as well as the field umpire Colin Price, and said, all right, we're playing this game under protest, and that immediately put a halt to the game, which is where we're at right now, is now Colin Price heading back to the field. We got our guy Connor Pelton down there running our social media account, so updating that as well, as hopefully we'll get a quick report. Colin Price now officially on the field. And so we're going to take another break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Live and officially wait for that ruling as we head back. And hopefully we'll have a definitive update for you right after this.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
And so now it appears we do have a definitive ruling and are officially back to start this ball game again, or resume play, I should say, in the bottom of the sixth, as Jack Johnson will come to the plate, and it is the left-hander Jack Wolger back out on the mound. So the official ruling is that Wolger, since he started the inning, came in between the lines, has to officially pitch to the very first batter of the inning. Johnson will pop this one up now, a high fly in the center field, carrying now the center fielder for Victoria, Matt Louds, to right center field, and he will make the catch for the first out. So the official ruling, according to subsection, not sure of the rule book here, it appears, section, in removing the pitcher of the umpire official rule book, section 4 and subclause E, when the pitcher crosses the foul line on the way to the mound to start an inning, he shall pitch to the first batter until such batter is put out or reaches base, unless a pinch hitter is substituted or the batter or the pitcher sustains an injury or illness which incapacitates him from continuing. Obviously, the latter part of that statement does not involve this play at all, as now they're going to stick with Wardford for the second batter of the inning. So essentially, because of Greg Merritt's inability to read the rules at this point and understand NCAA official ruling for baseball, as this one is laced down the left field line by Mark Cardinelli for strike one. So because of his unknowingness of this rule and his inability to follow suit in this situation, we've essentially wasted 15 minutes of the ball game, and Watford's back out on the mound. So now Cardinelli will take ball two, a fastball high and outside, and I know I'm personally a bit frustrated with the waste of time and the stoppage of play in general, essentially for no reason, as he didn't even take him out after the first batter he faced. So there's no point in general for him to even go out and make that move, because he's stuck with Wolford regardless. and so essentially has wasted 15 to 20 minutes of our time. We apologize for that on behalf of Greg Merritt. So nonetheless, the game will continue here as it's a 2-2 count on the way here. Now fisted out into shallow left field, incoming Ben Polshuk, and he will make the catch just out beyond the outskirts of the infield for the second out, as there's quickly 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Nonetheless, the Gray Wolves still have the lead 8-5 here with Josh Adams coming to the plate. 8 hits so far for the Gray Wolves, 6 is for the Victoria Harbor Cats, 1 error on the side of Victoria, and 3 for Gresham. So now with Adams coming to the plate, lefty on lefty matchup here for Walford, as the first one on the way is a fastball that misses high and outside. Rather, Wolger. So ball 1 here to Adams, who's 1 for 2. Couple of runs scored, however, also with a base knock that came in the previous inning in the 5th. He led off both the 5th and the 4th, both times scoring runs. As he now takes a breaking ball there low. A nice take there by Adams. Looked like he was going to pull the trigger, but managed to hold up. 2-0. Is Ryan Smith awaiting on deck. In fact, Adams, the only member of the Gray Wolves besides Connor Zickafoos to have scored 2 runs. There's now the 2-1 on the way. Belted deep to right. This one deep into the night, and Josh Adams has done it again. He's got something to say for the Harbor Cats dugout as he pimps that one and will take his time walking all the way around the bases. Long, deep home run there for Josh Adams as we are now back on the board here. The Gresham Gray Wolves are 9-5 here in the bottom of the 6th. And what a statement there from Josh Adams, and getting a lot of dap and love there from his dugout. Everyone out of the dugout that time. After 2 quick outs, it looked like now Craig Major will go to his bullpen after that unfortunate turn of events for his ball club, as Merritt, excuse me for mispronouncing his name, but nonetheless, we'll bring in now his right-hander Schneider, and we'll have a quick pitching change again here. Hopefully this time it doesn't take 15 minutes for Schneider to get out on the bump and make a couple throws, as we'll take a break here on Gresham Gray Wolves Live, and the Gray Wolves hold the lead now 9-5.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Gray Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Gray Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Gray Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Gray Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
And so now as we come back to here after the pitching change, Cameron Schneider out there on the mound for the Victoria Harbor Cats. First batter he will face will be Ryan Smith as he fires a fastball low and outside for ball 1. So right before the pitching change, the left-hander for the Harbor Cats, Jack Wolger, gave up a no-doubt home run as Ryan Smith sprays this one through the left side past the diving shortstop Tommy Jew into left field, and Smith collects his second base hit in as many innings. So Adams, who delivered a towering shot, a home run out to deep right field, now gets his first RBI of the evening, driving himself in. That's his 3rd run scored. So has scored 1/3 of the runs this evening for Gresham. And Ryan Smith continues to do damage, getting a base here with 2 outs, and now Zickafoos will step in. First pitch on the way to him. Change up low in the dirt, blocked that time by Pryor. as we approach 9:40. These games have definitely gone late, not only because of the quality of play and really the patience, I think, at the plate from both offenses has produced long and not necessarily dragged on games, but competitive matchups, at least in the first and now third game of this series, where both teams haven't struck out a whole lot. Just 4 in this game for the Gray Wolves. I believe 3 for the Harbor Cats, maybe even 2, as now this fastball's hit on the inside corner for a strike, as Zickafoos finds himself in a 1-1 count. But in general, I mean, all these games have been around 10:30, even last night upwards of around 10:40 p.m. So now the 1-1 pitch on the way. A changeup in for a strike. Should be 1-2 there. With 2 outs here for Zickafoos, who's scored 2 runs. Also a couple of base knocks, a double and a triple. Got things going in the second inning with a triple out to right field, and now pops this one up over the left, but is going to slice out a play out into the parking lot there. We'll stay right here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. In fact, did reach in the 5th inning even when he hit into a fielder's choice. Unfortunately, was stranded in scoring position at second base. While Adams and Smith during that inning were able to come in to score off the sacrifice fly from Snyder, as well as the error by the first baseman Smith. And now this one, a changeup high and outside here to even the count at 2-2. So a 9-5 ball game here in favor of the Gray Wolves. 9 hits for Gresham, 6 for Victoria. As the Harbor Cats put up 3 in the first, scored 2 in the top of the 6th. In between there, a lot of zeros as Zickafoos will slap this one into left field. That one's going to die right in front of the left fielder. Polshek will have to pick it up and play it in as back-to-back 2-out knocks here from Smith, and now Zickafoos have the Gray Wolves threatening again with Klenke coming to the plate. Just this middle combination right here, a fearsome foursome, if you will. Adams, Smith, Zickafoos, and Klenke have all delivered in multiple fashions tonight. He got 2 hits, one of them a home run from Adams, 2 singles from Smith, 3 base knocks now from Zickafoos as he has earned himself 3/4 of the cycle as Klenke, who steps in, takes a fastball inside for ball 1. And although Klenke hasn't gotten a base hit, also has not gotten out tonight, has worked himself 2 walks and recorded a sacrifice fly while also scoring a run. They haven't been responsible for 7 of the 9 runs here this evening. All those 4 batters combined, as now Klenke takes another fastball that misses too far in, ball 2. In addition, he got 7 out of the 9 hits, from Ryan Smith. So they have been able to do almost nearly all of the damage. Tack on Curtis Perrin's run and a couple of base hits throughout the rest of the order as he now takes a fastball low and in 3-0. Are unable to find the strike zone, and Merritt clearly struggling to control his emotions down there. Kind of was shaking his hands. There's another 3-0 pitch. Fastball in the inside corner for a strike. So able to be gifted a strike there as now Klenke will have to go to work. In a hitter's count, RBI opportunity. That runner on second base, Smith, can do it fast. Zickafoos with a little bit of speed himself, even for more of a bulky player. Has a 3-1 on the way. Swung on, laced down the left field line, giving chase is Ben Polshek, and he will hawk that one down. Had to range over to his right and a lunge there in order to hawk that one down. But nonetheless, the Gray Wolves able to get one bat of Josh Adams as they record 1 run, 3 hits, 2 runners left on as we will head now to the 7th inning here at Austin Field. The last third of this ball game coming your way next. Anderchuk, Alcantara, and Joe Pryor when we return here on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live as the Gray Wolves have the lead 9-5.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
And so now as we get set to start this 7th inning here at Austin Field, it'll be 2-3-4 due up for the Victoria Harbor Cats, and they'll be facing the left-hander reliever Carter Book coming on for the Grey Wolves here in the latter part of this ball game, entering the 7th inning as that marks the end of the night for Gabe Benavides. Ended up going 6 strong innings, allowed 6 hits, 5 runs, but however only 2 of them earned, as well as 2 walks and 5 strikeouts for Benavides, and a quality start for him here tonight against the best team arguably in all of the West Coast League. Nonetheless, so far tonight, and especially in this rubber match for the series, the Grey Wolves have tried to make the argument that to start this second half, they are the top dogs. As now the first pitch on the way from Book to Anderchuk is a fastball right down the heart of the plate, 0-1. I had the pleasure of talking to Book last night in the 2nd inning. Got his partner in crime, if you will, Michael Clark, the closer, who's likely going to be warming up soon in a situation like this, trying to close out this series as Book misses high and outside 1-1. We got Michael Clark here in the booth in the 2nd inning this day. As now the 1-1. Book likes to work fast as this one, a slider popped up into shallow left field. Doherty jumping is going to make the grab. A nice leaping play there made by Dylan Doherty. Looked like he was kind of feeling to see as he ranged onto the outfield grass where Cardinale, the left fielder, was charging hard. Sort of was feeling him out, nonetheless was able to still make the play to get Anderchuk out for the first out. So now Alcantara will step to the plate, takes the first pitch strike as Book really knows how to fill it up. Able to get right back in the strike zone at any point, having thrown 30 innings. It's just 6 walks, now continuing to work fast. Another strike right in there, a breaking ball this time quickly, 0-2. Book works from the windup, has that high leg kick from the left side, and now fires another breaking ball. This one misses a tad up and out there for ball 1. Looks like there's some action beginning to brew down in the bullpen for Victoria, so possibly could see a new face at the beginning of that inning as now Alcantara sprays this one back off the screen to even the count at 2-2. 9-5 in favor of the Grey Wolves in this rubber match of a 3-game series against the Victoria Harbor Cats. Is this one a fastball inside? Alcantara tried to stick his elbow out at that one, and it seemed to be over the plate, but couldn't get the call from Ed Rye to run the count full. So now the payoff pitch on the way again. Fastball misses low and in. Or rather, thought that was a full count. Nonetheless, it now runs full, so 3 balls and 2 strikes here. As Book will have to focus up at this point. Has his side. That high leg kick and fires. Fastball ripped down the third base line into the dugout. In fact, nearly a play made there in the bullpen, along with Michael Clark, who's beginning to throw down there. Drew Curtis also warming up just in case he may need to come in as a defensive replacement, and nearly almost had that ball. So nonetheless, we turn our attention back to the field as Alcantara will dip out of the way of that one, turns his shoulder inside as this ball nearly caught him. But doesn't matter anyways, it is ball 4 there, and Book has dished out a base on balls here with 1 out in the 7th. So now Joe Pryor, who started off the game hot, has been a bit quiet in the last couple innings. Probably thanks to Benavides keeping him not only off the base paths, but out of the batter's box. Has only had 1 at-bat in the previous 4 innings after having 2 in the first 3. And I think that speaks volumes as to how Benavides was able to settle down and settle in there on that mound tonight after relinquishing 3 runs, in the top of the first. And now a ball missing low here from Book. And also another reason Bark is probably trusting Book in this situation, especially with a somewhat frustrating strike zone from the home plate umpire Ed Rye, is due to the fact that Book pitched in the first game of the series, ended up going 4 1/3, and so he's familiar with this strike zone, is going to be able to keep his emotions in check as Book now fires in a fastball right through the middle of the plate, 1-1. prior. 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats, one of them home run. A 2-run bomb that brought in Alcantara, who's at first base currently. Also a single as he now chops this one over to the left side and past the bag at third, foul. 1-2. Book entering the game, a 1-2 record through 30 innings, 2.7 ERA, making his 14th appearance. Has given up 27 hits, only 6 walks, and has struck out 19 batters. A guy that always kind of jokes around about the velocity of his fastball, just around 80 miles an hour, but still able to use it effectively. As now the 1-2 pitch. Nope, pickoff attempt over to first base. Just a light toss there from Book and no tag from Snyder. Also something I learned about Book as well. I played against him this past year at Willamette University as he goes to Linfield College. They are our rivals, but as this one is grounded over to the third base side, Zikafu's able to block it down with his chest, picks it up, goes over to first base in time to get 1 out, and a smart, safe play there from Connor Zikafus in a play that, at least last night, likely would have eluded the Grey Wolves defensively, but able to make the right play, make the smart play, which is to get an out in this situation. And now with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, Book is able to try and leave that runner on second base. And so like I was saying, having been familiar with not only Linfield College, but Carter Book in general, I didn't realize that he had came on as a starter towards the end of the season. We played them earlier in the year. And so Book having to now come out of the pen, making an adjustment. He talked about that mentality of having to sort of shorten your next play mentality, your next pitch mentality, if you will, having to sort of shorten that up as the first pitch on the way here to Polshuk misses high around the letters 1-0. Also, I think the biggest difference he talked about as well was the difference in the preparation literally in the bullpen, because he's been down, at least in the previous game, in the first game of the series, was down there throwing in the second, all the way up to the fourth, as Polshuk will foul this one back off to the right, out of play to even the count at a ball and a strike. However, coming out of the bullpen, at least the majority of the season, has been used in a couple of situations like we saw just a few nights ago in the middle relief role, kind of bridging the gap while he allows his offense to get back in the ball game. But has done a very good job out of the bullpen, no matter the situation he's been thrown into, as he now misses with a curveball 2-1. In fact, that last outing against Victoria was where he got his first win, 4 2/3, did allow 2 earned runs. On kind of a fluke play, was a chopper to the shortstop Doherty, and took a funny hop, ended up getting into left field. So really, those 2 runs not even his fault, as he gets a swing and a miss here. Pulled the string on a changeup that time, did Book. And it's 2-2 here to Polshuk. Also got a couple strikeouts in that ball game. Tied for his longest outing of the season, as he also pitched 4 2/3 back on June 23rd against the Cowlitz Black Bears. Only allowed 1 hit, struck out 5. That was certainly his most dominant outing. As a 2-2 pitch now on the way. Fastball just below the knees there, says Ed Rye. Book took a couple of steps off the mound towards the dugout. Thought he might have had strike 3, and now he'll have to refocus up here in a full count. Gave in to Alcantara in the second batter of this inning. Walked him in a full count, and maybe looking to reverse his fortunes here. Checks back at second. Now the payoff pitch. Curveball popped up into shallow right center field. Incoming Adams as well as Smith. Who's going to make the catch? It's Smith making a basket catch. And Polshuk, extremely frustrated with himself, throws his helmet as Ryan Smith takes an RBI and a base knock away from Ben Polshuk to end the top of the 7th. So we'll head to the bottom of the frame here on Gresham Grey Wolves Live as we take a break. Don't go anywhere. I'm Evan Giddings, and the Grey Wolves have the lead 9-5.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
And so now as we're just about set to go here in the bottom of the 7th, Cameron Schneider, the right-hander, back out on the mound for Victoria. Coming to the plate for the Gray Wolves, number 34, Nick Snyder, playing first base this evening for Gresham. He'll be followed by Curtis Perrin before the top of the order in Dylan Doherty. So the 6'7" right-hander for the Harbor Cats. First pitch on the way, fires a fastball, tapped over right past the on-deck hitter Perrin. Tried to stick his hand out and maybe snag himself a free baseball, but nonetheless will have to get out of the way of that one. Now the second pitch of the at-bat on the way, fastball in the inside corner, called ball 1. It's a frustration here from, it looks like the Victoria side over here on the right and in the bleachers at the right side of Osland Field, as Snyder will pop this one up far down the right field line, carrying over beyond the bullpen onto the top of the batting cage they have down there beyond the right field line. So that'll go for a foul ball, strike 2. So 1-2 here to Snyder. Over his last week has only made 2 starts, of course his third one tonight, and now takes a fastball outside here to even it up at 2-2. Just 1 hit in his last 8 at-bats to begin this second half for Snyder, although has earned himself a walk. Actually 2 if you include the one tonight, as well as an RBI from that sacrifice fly. As he now taps this one off the plate, but gets off his shoulder, so still in the batter's box. Going to be ruled foul there by home plate umpire Ed Ryan. We'll do it again. This Gresham order so far tonight has produced a total of 10 hits. As a 2-2 now on the way, Slider checked his swing low in the dirt. The appeal down to first base, and Colin Price, no, he did not go, he says. So the count now full here to Snyder, as he's had himself quite a good at-bat. That's simply what both teams have done so far in this series, as the 3-2 on the way, chopped over to the left out of play, foul. And the amount of full counts. Now, granted, the strike zones have been a bit slim, especially in the game 1 and 2 now with Ed Rye behind home plate. However, the amount of full counts that have been earned and probably capitalized on in this series, as Snyder flies one out to right field. Playable, though, for Alcantara, as he'll drift back and now settle under it and make the catch for the first out. The amount of full counts that have been won by the hitters in this series, I mean, it's been tremendous, whether it be a walk or a base hit. Could in some situations have to do with the wideness or height of the strike zone. However, I think you got to give it up for the hitters on both sides to be able to come through in so many tough situations. You want to tell yourself walk or knock, as Perrin takes a ball inside here 1-0. However, much easier said than done against top-notch Division I pitching talent. As now the second pitch of the at-bat is a changeup that misses outside, 1-1. Especially a guy like Snyder, high to mid, or rather high 80s to low 90s, as he now misses again inside, 2-1. As we're here in the bottom of the 7th, Gray Wolves a 4-run advantage as Perrin takes another fastball. This one misses inside, scoops him off the plate there, 3-1. And Perrin in particular, along with his middle infield mate Doherty, have been able to work quite a few walks this season. However, swings at a fastball, got a pitch to hit there, but laced it back off the screen for a foul ball. And another full count. Could also be the inability of both pitching staffs to get ahead early in the count, although I think the Gray Wolves have done a better job of that, at least through these past couple of games. And now a fastball thrown that misses too far inside. Curtis Perrin earns himself a walk. So again, doing what he has to do to get on base. As that is Perrin's now 20th walk of the season. That is tied for the team lead with Ryan Smith.
Shortstop number 2, Dylan Doherty.
As it appears, yes, Smith has not walked tonight, so 20 walks now, time for the team lead. Also has struck out 20 times, but nonetheless, Perrin, an on-base machine, giving way now to Dylan Doherty, whose first pitch swing, ground ball over to the left, nearly cut off by the third baseman, now picked up by Jew. Throw on the run in time, a nice play by Jew, His momentum was carrying him towards third base. He threw across his body, across the diamond, in time to get the speedy Doherty on the 6-3 putout. There's 2 away. And so now Jack Johnson will come to the plate.
The DH number 8, Jack Johnson.
One of the 3 Grey Wolves do not have a hit so far this evening. Snyder's one of them. Clanky's one of them. Although he's got 2 walks and an RBI. Same with Snyder. He's got 1 walk as well as the RBI and a run scored. Johnson also the walk himself. So every member of the Grey Wolves having reached base tonight. A 1 through 9 effort here by the offense as Johnson takes a fastball up and in high, ball 1. In fact, Johnson has reached twice tonight, was also hit by a pitch back in the first. So now Schneider, the high leg kick and a fire. Right-hander down on top of the ball. Breaks a curveball off that cannot quite catch the inside edge, ball 2. So 2 outs with Perrin at second base. He moved up on the nice play made there by Tommy Jew. Was able to take advantage of that, and now Jack Johnson taking a big swing there, but pops it out back beyond our heads here at the Osland Field broadcast booth. Nightfall officially set. Came about 30 minutes ago as the lights shining bright, illuminating this home of the Saints here, the Mount Hood Community College baseball team. Has been quite successful actually in recent years. As now the 2-1 on the way, fastball runs high, 3-1. So Johnson finds himself ahead in the count. And these Victoria pitchers who, at least coming into the series on paper, especially their starters, I mean, just so far ahead in every single count as Johnson gets a piss to hits there, but fouls it back off the screen there. Another full count in between Dylan Doherty. I mean, there's been 3 out of 4 in this inning alone. So Schneider's going to have to focus up here. Johnson's going to have to utilize that good eye of his, trying to find himself on base. He's got 18 walks himself, looking for number 19 or possibly hit number 23 as he slaps this one over the left, just past the third base coach Justin Barkis into foul territory. Count remains full. Now, as an offense, the Grey Wolves up until this point this season, including the first half, were batting .242, not a necessarily great average. However, in this second half alone, in their first 7 games, they're batting .267 as this one swung on a miss, tied him up on a fastball in the inside corner as Jack Johnson goes down swinging to retire the side. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left on as we enter the 8th inning here at Osland Field. And we'll be back with you after this quick break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Live.
Bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so now we return to action here. Gresham Grey Wolves versus the Victoria Wildcats, rather Harbor Cats, excuse me, as Tommy G will step to the plate and take a first pitch fastball off the inside edge for ball 1. Here from the left-hander Carter Book on for his second inning of work as he fires fastball. This one does catch the inside edge, 1-1. So Book looking for another 2 shutout innings. Likely will not be in for the ninth, though, as Tommy Jew slaps this one back off the plate, kicks away towards the left side of the dirt in foul territory, 1-2. As we've had ourselves quite an interesting one here at Austin Field all throughout. Plenty of action in one way or another as Jew will pop this one up over the right side, and giving chase is the newly inserted defensive replacement, Drew Curtis, over there at first base, so he comes in for Nick Snyder. Nonetheless, this ball is still going to be a strike. So throughout this ball game, and I mentioned the action on the field as well as off it, that's because we had about a 15 or 20 minute delay due to a stoppage of play caused by a protest as Jew sends a deep fly ball into center field. Going back is Smith at the track at the wall, and he makes the catch right in front of the wall. Smith able to track that one down and catches it just a few inches in front of the Riverview Community Bank sign. Takes a long look at that big tarp out there in center field as that one, I think he got a little closer than he thought he might have. And nonetheless, Jew, who's already hit one out to center field in this series, is robbed of a base knock there. Ryan Smith showing off his range once again. And an ever-important first out here to begin this 8th inning for Book. First pitch now on the way, swung on and missed by Brad Pleshkel, as Book has so far had these Harbor Cats baffled. In both games he's pitched this series is now the 0-1. Breaking ball, pop up, this one a lot shorter, and is still into center field. Incoming Ryan Smith, and he'll call off the right fielder Adams, make the catch for the second out of the inning. Book not necessarily utilizing the velocity, but instead the command as well as the movement of his pitches. Has not recorded a strikeout so far, but that doesn't really matter to him. All he cares about is getting outs, getting into the dugout as quickly as possible. So far has thrown 6 pitches. Hopefully like to keep that under 10 here, as now Jake Stone will come to the plate. Bends out of the way of a fastball up and inside for ball 1. As Stone came on to hit for Matt Smith, the first baseman, also replaced him, I believe, over there at first base. And that was back in the 6th inning as he now takes ball 2. Fastball off the outside edge, 2-0. So Stone's 0 for 1. Matt Smith retires tonight as 1 for 2 as a single and a stolen base. Stone has only reached on an error, as now this one really gets away from Book high and gets back off the screen. Clanky couldn't even get a glove on that one, as the count is now 3-0. So actually this is, I believe, what happened to begin the 7th inning for Book, at least with 1 out. A.J. Alcantara worked himself a walk, but was ahead 3-0 in the count, as now Stone will just put the bat on his shoulders that time and take a strike right down Main Street. And so now he'll have to swing the lubber this time. 3-1 on the way. Doesn't matter, as that pitch is far off the plate and outside, ball 4. So a couple of walks here. This one hopefully will not come back to hurt Book with 2 outs, putting a runner on first, and the DH, Ryan Anderson, coming to the plate.
The DH, number 32, Ryan Anderson.
He's 0 for 2. Does have a sacrifice fly, but not much has been put together by Anderson or the man on deck, Matt Lautz. 1 hit between the both of them throughout 8 at-bats. Is now the first pitch on the way is a fastball that drifts too far outside, ball 1. Appears Michael Clark, the right-hander, is warming up. Just some light toss down to the bullpen, as he'll have the entire bottom of the 8th inning to get set for the top of the 9th, hopefully, in what will not be a safe situation. Currently a 4-run lead for the Grey Wolves as Book fires in a fastball on the inside edge, strike 1. So a good job here to get back in that strike zone with 2 outs. Want at the very least make the Harbor Cats put the ball in play, make them earn their base hits, make them earn their runners, as this one is popped up, fouled off and over to the right side. Now ahead in the count is Book, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He gave up 6 hits in the game 2 nights ago, although kind of scattered them, as the majority of them, as well as the walks that he's given up so far this series, as this one is fouled down the left field line, a deep fly ball, but it's going to get out of play far to the left of the scoreboard here down the left field line. Has kind of scattered those hits, but generally has been giving them up around 2 outs. So it seems like early in the inning he focuses on hitting his spots and has done a great job at executing that, as this one now gets away from Clanky, a breaking ball in the dirt there that he cannot keep in front. So a wild pitch allows Stone to go and move up to second base, and the count will be evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So with a 9-5 lead, And especially early on in the inning, Book definitely playing around the corners, much more accurate and was zoned in. However, with 2 outs, it seemed, it at least appeared in the last outing, like he was trying to go at hitters and make them get themselves out, which is what he does right here. Swing and a miss, climbed the ladder upstairs, did Book with a fastball, and he sets him down swinging. Ryan Anderson is down on strikes, as that will conclude the 8th here at Osland Field. We'll go to the 9th with the Gray Wolves coming to the plate. 3, 4, 5, Cardinale, Adams, and Smith hoping to add an insurance run, so they're already 4-run advantage. They lead at 9-5 as we head to the 9th on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Gray Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Gray Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Gray Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Gray Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
And so we're ready to go here in the bottom of the 8th with Mark Cardinale coming to the plate against a new right-hander on for the Harbor Cats, Kyle Mora, number 19, as he fires in a first pitch strike here to Cardinale for the first pitch of the inning. Mora, a right-hander, goes to UCLA, or will be attending UCLA in the fall. Going to be a freshman there as Cardinale sprays this one back off the screen 0-2. We saw him in the first game of this series and performed all right. Not necessarily a great summer so far for Mora, as he's allowed a total of 13 earned runs through just 8 1/3, so a 12.96 ERA, as he now gets a curveball that bounces in. Now working quickly as Mora, as he has a sign, fires on a fastball again low, so that'll even up the count at 2-2. From Los Alamitos, California, 6'2", 175-pound right-hander. Has pitched in 3 games so far, 1 start, now making his 4th appearance as he buries a curveball again in the dirt and the count runs full. So the patience of these Gray Wolves hitters obviously got to the starting pitcher tonight. Will McAffer, the right-handers, he walked 3 in that 5-run inning for the Gray Wolves that came in the 4th, and now another walk here as Cardinale takes a fastball inside, finds himself on base. So quite a few free bases handed out for the Gray Wolves, and that is really what has fueled them offensively. Now, they've been able to put together a total of 11 hits throughout this game. However, the walks have kind of compounded the runs and really those big innings put together by Gresham throughout this ball game. They put up 5 in the 4th, and that's really the main point, or really where the game turned, as Michael Clark continues to warm up, so we'll be seeing him in the 9th inning. Of course, the closer for Gresham, as now Josh Adams takes a off-speed pitch off the edge, 1-0. And as for the offense, not necessarily carried by one batter, but definitely Adams is a guy you could point to as a focal point tonight offensively, having scored 3 runs, already has himself a home run and a single. Couple of base knocks as he now takes a changeup that does grace the outside edge 1-1. After striking out in the first, I mean, he has been nothing but locked in. Walked in a full count in the fourth, ended up coming around to score. Singled in the fifth, then came around to score. And, of course, that home run in the sixth inning, which put on the insurance run. Now they have the lead up by 4 as Adams takes another fastball here this time. Runs low, just below the knees. There are 2 balls and a strike. And, in fact, Adams hit that home run. So with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning, which is where this game took a brief pause, and brief is being kind, as it was about 15 to 20 minutes with this one. Hard ground ball right to the second baseman, Anderchuk. He'll go to shortstop. Jew on to first base, and plenty of time for the double play as Josh Adams stings one right on the button, but unfortunately the second baseman, Anderchuk, able to corral it and start the 4-6-3 double play. So just like that, the free base is erased as there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. But like I was mentioning, with 2 outs in the 6th inning before Adams came to the plate, there was a bit of a interesting pitching change gone wrong. So Jack Wolger was on the mound, walked out in between the lines, signaling that he had to, at the very least, pitch to a batter that inning, as Ryan Smith takes a curveball low here, 1-0. And then head coach Greg Merritt went out, took him out before the inning started, which caused the game to be played under protest by Justin Barkas, as this one up and in and gets off the shoulder there of Ryan Smith. He'll play this one professionally, walked right back to the first base, and there was a couple of a couple of words from the dugout from Gresham as the catcher, Joe Pryor, kind of turned towards them. Nonetheless, everything okay here. Things were getting a bit chippy in the first game, and obviously if you continue into last night with the 12-4 beating, the Grey Wolves lost that game by a total of 8 runs and now have kind of served the dish best kept cold in revenge here tonight. So now Zikafus will come to the plate, stings one into right field, past the first baseman, Matt Smith. Smith will get all the way to third base. This one, Ryan Smith for the Grey Wolves, as he was flying around second base in with a foot first slide, and now runners on the corners with 2 out. Again, fueled by these free bases, a hit by pitch. Now, to continue that story there, so he brought in Cameron Schneider, who up until this inning had been pitching, I believe, through the last 2 for Victoria. Brought him in, and so that was an illegal move. Barkas chose to play the game under protest, which seemingly stopped the game at a standstill, which I was a bit puzzled about, because generally when you play the game under protest, you play the game, and then afterwards you go back and review it. However, it caused a 15 to 20-minute standstill while Colin Price, the field umpire, looked up the rule, as this one is swung on and missed here by the batter, Ben Klinke, for the first strike. So we essentially sat here for 15 minutes up in the booth wondering what was going on. The players on the field kind of were horsing around, keeping to themselves, and then the left-hander, Wolger, had to go back out on the mound and pitch to the first batter, Johnson. So essentially, the time was wasted, 15 to 20 minutes, and whether it be a mistake by Greg Merritt or in unknowing of the rules, it cost us 15 to 20 minutes of this ball game. Could have been back at 10 o'clock. Now we're approaching 10:20. So nonetheless, 1-1 count here to Ben Klinke in the bottom of the 8th. Runners in the corners with 2 outs. And the pitch on the way. Fastball low, dug out of the dirt there by the catcher Pryor, and it's 2-1. Klinke has reached base twice tonight and has scored a run, although has not recorded a hit. He is simply 0 for 1. Flew out to left field to end the 6th inning. A couple of walks, like I mentioned. Also a sacrifice fly and an RBI as he takes a fastball up around the letters and a bit off the plate as well. 3 balls and a strike. Klinke really hitting well in that catching position. Kind of sharing the reps there with K-Row. He gets 2 games in the series. K-Row's been getting 1. That's the way that the rotation has gone. And now a check swing here on a fastball. Actually, in fact, tipped the bat, so it doesn't matter at that point. It's going to roll a strike regardless. As he tried to hold up his swing, to be more of a defense swing there from Klinke, as I think he had in his mind he was going to be swinging in a 3-1 count. But instead, tried to pull up. Didn't matter. Those that grazed off the bat into the glove of the catcher. So now we'll count. Zikafus will be on the first base. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Again, an inside fastball. Tied him up. And the Grey Wolves go down. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left as we go to the top of the ninth inning. Clark will be on to try this one out for the Gresham Gray Wolves. Coming up, Harvard Cats will be at the top of the order. Louts, Anderchuk, and Alcantara when we return here on Gresham Gray Wolves live.
You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bass Bells at Gresham Ford, and getting the car truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, eagles, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the Church of Charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play.
And so now we're just about set to go here to begin the top of the 9th inning at Austin Field. Michael Clark on the mound, the closer for the Gresham Gray Wolves, as that will conclude Carter Book, as his night is in the books, no pun intended. And so Clark, with a couple of saves this season, make that 3. A 4.39 ERA entering play, making his 9th appearance since coming on during that series on the 19th back in June against Kelowna. Kind of a delayed process with him getting up here, much like a lot of the mid to major D1 schools, at least the prospects coming into the West Coast League. So Clark, a bit of a late bloomer here for the Gray Wolves, but has come in and performed nicely. Has not allowed a run in his last 2 outings, of course, one of which came on Tuesday against Victoria. Picked up a save in that one, and also picked up a save back on July 10th against Wenatchee, as he will start this inning with a pinch hitter, number 14, Jaron Silva, who will step into the plate and take ball 1, fastball inside. So now Book, Michael Clark, who's filling in for Carter Book, exclusively from the stretch, fires the fastball right there at the knees for strike 1. As the Gray Wolves have a 4-run lead. 9-5, they lead the Victoria Harbor Cats, looking to finish off this 3-game series. Looking to finally deliver a series win to Victoria, who has not seen that since June 4th, when they lost to the Walla Walla Sweets, and now ball 2 delivered a bit low and outside here, 2-1. So Silva, a left-hander who's actually been one of the top hitters for Victoria so far this season. And in fact, was named an all-star. 28 games played, a .320 average as he now scoots out of the way of this one. A fastball that tips off the glove there of Klenke all the way back to the screen. 24 hits, which is tied for the team lead with the second baseman Anderchuk. Also 11 RBIs, couple of triples, couple of doubles, as well as 18 runs scored, which is also tied for the team lead with Snyder as well as P.J. Floyd. Both of those names we heard last night. However, not getting the start this evening as a 3-1 pitch on the way. Again inside, tips back off the glove of Klenke. So he'll have to hustle back to the screen to pick that one up, but it doesn't appear that Silva will be taking advantage of it. And now Anderchuk will come to the plate.
Second baseman, number 21, Griffin Anderchuk.
So a 5-pitch walk dished out there by Michael Clark, who in his last couple of outings, in fact, has great command. Through 14 1/3, he's only walked 7. Over his last 4 outings, though, total of 8 innings, has only walked 2. And now fires a strike right down the heart of the plate here to Anderchuk, 0-1. Also has collected a strikeout in his previous 7 outings. So 7 out of 8, he's been able to collect 1 K. As the 0-1 pitch now on the way. Fastball right back up the box. One hopper right to Clark, waiting for the guy at second base to throw over to second base, and it is not in time, or rather off the bag. It looked like the second baseman repair and caught it as the throw was a bit wide. There was some hesitation there on the comebacker to Clark. Not sure if he believed that the shortstop Doherty was going to get there as soon as he turned to throw, but nonetheless, it is going to be ruled an E1, and that is how Jaron, is able to move up to second base. So Anderchuk goes to first on the fielder's choice as Clark opted to go to second base to try and turn the double play. And now with nobody out, runners on second and first, it'll be A.J. Alcantara's turn to step to the plate. He's been held hitless tonight. 0 for 2. Struck out, although reached on that error off the glove of the first baseman, Nick Snyder. And so, in fact, actually another pinch hitter as Greg Merritt has been emptying his bench at this point. Number 20, Austin Gibor, who we've seen in the first 2 games of this series, will come to the plate. So Gibor, first pitch he sees is a fastball off the edge outside, ball 1. Now Clark also had to deal with the Ed Rice strike zone in the first game of the series. In fact, actually, in a closer situation, came in with a 9-8 lead, so only a 1-run deficit. Victoria trailed, and Clark went 1-2-3 in that inning as he now misses inside with a fastball here, 2-0. So a bit of life there in the Harbor Cats dugout, beginning to hear them chirp a little more. Everyone up on the rails. As Clark's got to settle in, at the very least, get a strike. Hopefully could deduce a ground ball double play. Middle infielder's pinching. As this one, a fastball high and tight. Misses again, 3-0 here to Austin Gibor. Still a 4-run lead. We have seen a situation in the last home series where the Grey Wolves gave up a 4-run lead. I believe it was the closer Jake Boyd at the time. Is this one a fastball low and inside, ball 4. So Clark misses with a fastball. That is Gibor's first walk and his first at-bat, but A.J. Alcantara had walked twice in the game, so essentially 3 walks in a row from the 3 position, now bringing Joe Pryor to the plate in the form of the tying run. No, in fact, actually, as Ian Sanderson will go out to try and talk down his closer, maybe give him a little bit more confidence out there on the mound. Bit of a breather as well. Looks like we're going to have another pinch hitter. Number 22 is in the batter's box, or rather coming to the batter's box, as it appears, looking down this list, it's going to be Dakota Dean. Number 22, Dakota Dean, will come in and hit for Joe Pryor. And I think at this point, earlier in the game, Greg Merritt didn't really care about the lefty on righty matchup, but at this point he's brought in 3 lefties in a row to face Michael Clark. Now, we don't necessarily have the splits to tell you which is he's been more effective against, although based off of the moves here made by Greg Merritt, he's got to know that a left-hander has really not been Michael Clark's forte so far in this season. And so Dean will step to the plate, batting .264 coming into play, making his 20th appearance, 14 hits and 53 at-bats, also with 8 RBIs as he now first pitch swings and fouls. This one back off the screen here, 0-1. So now the 0-1 as Michael Clark comes set here. Kicks and fires, fastball, outside edge, called for strike 2. A good spot there from Clark. Plays nicely at the knees. 1 strike away here from getting what has been an elusive first out here in this top of the 9th. And now time called by the batter here, Dean, as he'll head back to the dugout. He's batting without gloves, so we'll see if he goes in to get some of those or possibly is just going to go in to talk to his head coach. Maybe getting a bit of pine tar as well. Nonetheless, a couple of words there from Merritt as he'll head back to the batter's box and now prepares to step back in. So no gloves, continues to do this thing barehanded as Clark retoes the rubber from the first base side. Bases are loaded. Gibor on first, Anderchuk on second, Silva on third. As this one, a curveball popped up, fought off over the left side. Gonna get out of play though. And we'll do it again, 0-2. So a walk, a fielder's choice gone wrong, and an error by the pitcher himself, Clark. And another walk issued out to Austin Gibor, the pinch hitter. The bases are loaded. So Clark, deep breath, comes set at the belt. Another kicker as this one, curveball, tap back off the plate and foul. Barely staying alive there is Dakota Dean. Of course, filling in for Joe Pryor, who early in the game was absolute money. 2 for 2 in his first 2 at-bats, a single and a 2-run home run. As in that first inning, that kind of gave you at least an inkling at that time that this game was going to be an offensive shootout. And it certainly has been so far, as the Grey Wolves had plenty of ground to cover and ended up coming all the way back as they hold a 9-5 lead. So now the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball just below the knees there. Sanderson in the dugout can't believe it, as he believed the height was good. Nonetheless, called below. And that's the first ball of the at-bat. Defense playing him straight up. Now Adams creeping maybe a bit towards the right field line. And now this one, curveball swung on and missed. He went fishing down low, and Michael Clark ends up bending one back in. A backdoor, either back foot curveball, gets strike 3. And so now Ben Polshuk will come to the plate. Yep. I don't know why I even said that. Another pinch hitter, number 15, and of course it's a left-hander coming to the plate. Although it appears the next batter, Tommy Jew, a right-hander, will in fact remain there. Number 15, P.J. Floyd, who we saw last night, will pinch hit now for Ben Polchik. So really playing that lefty-righty. It appears the majority of the lineup was right-handed tonight to face the left-hander Benavides. And last night against the right-hander Luchuk had a predominantly left-handed lineup. And P.J. Floyd had a heck of a night last night as he laces this one down the left field line, but out of play foul. Out past the Grey Wolves bullpen, which is completely empty at this point. Floyd went 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs in the 9-hole nonetheless, raising the batting average to .350. Also with a double and a couple runs scored. So now with 1 out, the 0-1 on the way. Fastball, slow tapper, incoming the third baseman Zicafus. He'll pick it up, only plays to first base. He goes there in time. A nice snag and stretch there from Drew Curtis on a throw on the run there from Zicafus to get the second out. And most importantly, keep that tying run off the base pass. Zicafus has made a couple of nice plays here tonight. In fact, he robbed Joe Pryor in the 7th inning on a slow roller and made a nice throw across the diamond, as Zicafus has really held his own over there at the hot corner, again proving his worth, recording the 5-3 putout. And so now the last chance for the Harbor Cats is going to be a pinch hitter. No surprise there. Cody Snyder, number 10, will come to the plate, another left-handed bat in the place of Jew. And Cody Snyder we saw last night as the designated hitter, as he went 1 for 4 with an RBI. In fact, that was a RBI double as well as a run scored. Coming into the game batting .324. Now the first pitch on the way here from Clark is a fastball that misses just a bit high, apparently. That one looked to be right down the heart of the plate, but maybe the height was a bit too much. Nonetheless, called ball 1 by Ed Rye. So Snyder making his 25th appearance, 22 hits and 68 at-bats so far. Also 18 RBIs, which is second on the team, and now pops this one up off to the left and out of play foul to even it up at 1-1. 9-6, the Grey Wolves have the lead. So Cody Snyder represents the tying run. Want to go right at him, but certainly want to be careful with a guy with 2 home runs. 6 doubles, certainly has got the extra base power. So now the second pitch, or rather second strike, I should say, as this one is lifted off to the left again, nearly in the identical spot out into the parking lot for strike 2. And in fact, the error earlier in this inning by Michael Clark marked the 4th given up by the Grey Wolves. So definitely going to be something to talk with head coach Justin Barkas about, being to overcome those 4 errors. And this one, a curveball swung on and missed, tied him up in the inside corner, and that's the ball game. The Gresham Grey Wolves come from behind an early deficit, end up placing 9 thanks to a 5-run 4th inning here at Osland Field. Get the series win, deliver the second series loss to the Victoria Harbor Cats all season, their first here in the second half, and the Grey Wolves triumph here at Osland Field. A huge series victory against arguably the best team in the West Coast League, although they might have to move over for a couple of nights. as we'll quickly recap this ball game here. It started off really gloomy for the Grey Wolves. 3 runs in the first inning for Victoria as Matt Louts led things off with a single out to left field. Then after a pass ball and a drop third strike that went wrong, Nick Snyder dropped the ball on the throw from the catcher Ben Klanke. That resulted in a run coming forward in the form of Matt Louts, and then Joe Pryor hit a 2-run bomb that gave him a 3-0 victory, or 3-0 lead at the time, as apparently we have a bit of a scuffle here on the field between the head coach Greg Merritt and the pitching coach Ian Sanderson. So the two benches kind of emptying, of course, to shake hands after the ball game, but it guessed like there was something going on here between Merritt, and he didn't like something that he had to say. Of course, understand the fiery competitor in the head coach Merritt as Barkis is trying to calm him down. Nonetheless, we'll continue with the recap of the ball game. The Grey Wolves were able to strike back in the bottom of the second and put one up on the board as Zickafoos tripled out to right field, and then a sacrifice fly from Klanke brought him in. That brought the score 3-1. Fast forward now to the bottom of the fourth, which is where the Grey Wolves really took control here today. To lead off the inning, Adams walked, and then after a double from Zickafoos, that brought him in all the way from first base. Zickafoos advanced to third on a wild pitch. Ben Klanke reached first on a walk. And then after another walk from Nick Snyder to load the bases, Curtis Perrin delivered a 2 RBI single out to right field. Then after with 2 outs, Johnson was walked again to reload the bases, where Cardinale singled to left field to knock in 2 more. That gave them, at the time, a 6-3 lead, which is all they would need. They tacked on 2 more in the 5th after back-to-back singles from Adams and Smith, along with an error from the first baseman, Matt Smith. He tried to go to second base to turn a double play, threw it into left field. That allowed Adams to go to third base, or actually come in to score. It allowed Ryan Smith to go to third base. Zickafoos ended up reaching on the fielder's choice, and then after a walk, Nick Snyder hit a sacrifice fly to bring in the second run of the inning. In the 6th, Josh Adams delivered the nail in the coffin, sending a home run out to deep right field, delivered right after an abrupt 15-minute pitching change that went wrong and caused somewhat of a protest here from Justin Barkis. So at the time, a 9-3 lead, as the Harbor Cats did end up plating 2. They got 2 more off of a walk from Ben Polshuk and a single from Brad Plushgill, and thanks to an error from Curtis Perrin that allowed both those runners to get into scoring position, a sacrifice fly and another error by the catcher Ben Klanke on a play coming home to the plate allowed 2 more runs to score, as that is all they would get. 5 runs the Harbor Cats score. The Grey Wolves ended up with a total of 9 as they take the game. Actually, excuse me, Victoria plated 1 in the 9th, so 9-6. Nonetheless, the Grey Wolves ended up picking up the W, as I believe Gabe Benavides will get his second win on the season. Michael Clark picks up the save, and I believe the starting pitcher for the Victoria Harbor Cats, Will McAfee, will go down with his second loss. So we appreciate you tuning in tonight here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. I'm Evan Giddings as the Grey Wolves complete a series win over the Victoria Harbor Cats. They get the win by a score of 9-5 here, 9-6 at Osland Field, as we would like to wish you a great rest of your night here on this Thursday evening. Thank you.